Late Night Grin. Also, what does that name mean?
Yes, sir, we're back. Happy Friday. Another SmackDown in the books, which did a little mini review before we went live, as is tradition. I think I was the only one here that saw it, so it wasn't the best review segment, but we tried our best, and then we went live. We're here to discuss the great Rey Mysterio. Now, this is a special show because while we're focusing on the matches themselves, on the list, that is, this is probably like the closest we're going to get to doing Grin Grappler, Ray, because Alex is one of those. You know, one of those. Yeah, so, true. So, this is a special occasion. Lord Oracle's on the road. But we're fired up. We're locked in. We're ready to go. Donny, how are you, mate? Oh, wow. Immediate victory.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah. I will say, Caden Lee warned me that your internet was bad tonight. Is that so?
Yeah.
You've been fine.
I think I fixed it.
Yeah. Bob O'Neill just moved in his chair and, like, legitimately, it sounded like pyro went off in our stream.
Yeah,
that was unbelievable. It was your chair. I think you may need to, like, you know, give that some help. That chair, bro. But that sounded like it was in a lot of pain. Is it okay?
Yeah.
That could break on the air, and I don't want you to go viral on the Reddit or the TikTok and such. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
Well.
Dude, as someone who has a really creaky chair, even I was like, Jesus, that was a lot. Yeah.
No.
But we do have the real headline from all this is, to Donny's know about the internet. Donny's internet being totally fine for us and not working for Caden Lee is an indication maybe Donny has picked up Bob O'Neill's premier trick of occasionally just kicking out the Ethernet cable when things get a little bit rugged out there. You know, I like that. That's good.
The funniest thing is I don't have an Ethernet cable.
Well, there you go. Makes you think. All right, fair enough. Bob O'Neill, how are you?
I'm doing well. The whole chair thing was so I could wear a hat celebrating a sports team as well, so this bit's definitely worth it. Had to bring back the Bob's Barbecue hat for special occasion, USA on the knockout stage already. Let's go.
I love that, like, from our perspective, it seems like you just have an array of hats always at hand off camera, like, in case the right, you know, moment calls for it. I love that. Tremendous stuff.
Prepared.
Yes, you do. Thank you, Bob. The Oracle of Wrestling on the road. Just go off another night at TV and Guerrera for SmackDown. How are you?
I'm great. You know, while I was at Guerrera, I was really just watching the World Cup all the time.
Yeah, so were they, yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm good. I'm watching the Cup obsessively. The United States have moved on to the knockout round. Where things will surely get a lot easier from here, of course, like usual for the U.S. men's soccer team. We'll see. I'm well. I'm here and very excited to talk about the great Rey Jr., one of my all-time favorite professional wrestlers.
Yes, sir. Should be fun. For those of you who've never seen one of these shows before, we asked the Grinners. We opened up for Twitter too, which there was a lot of matches. I think this was the most matches we've ever got for one of these. Like, this was, because there's so much variety with Rey, right, in so many years. We asked everyone for their 5 favorite Rey or wrestlers matches, shows matches. They put their ballots in. I do the mathematics, and we come out with a very unofficial top 15. Now, I do want to stress at the top of the program, it's very pivotal I do this. Do not get mad at myself or my panel if you don't like these results. Because we have as much say as you do, right? We all do one ballot. So it's like, we're innocent. Things may be slightly skewed, But that's another conversation for a little bit later on here tonight. Nonetheless, I'm sure we'll have a hell of a time. MPJ UK, friend of the program, who I don't know if you guys saw, but he had an explosive review of this week's Hanging with Hole, but he deemed it to be the historically bad, he said, I believe, was the word he used. So,
Nice.
yeah, depends who you ask. Mileage may vary. He says, King Yeet. I was just telling Oracle that I think Joe Uso might be winning the King of the Ring. Oracle, you had a pretty colourful reaction to this news.
Thank God for the World Cup. You know, we only get it every 4 years, and it just happened right at the perfect time. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, very fair. Very, very fair. Thank you, MPJ, for being a member. Year and a half. Bob O'Neill, you can take this one from John Burr. I think it's going to be pretty colourful tonight. Go for it, Bob.
Query for Oracle. I spent the last week watching every Ray WWE match. Is this what made you this way? Please kill me. And Don, who let the dogs out? Thanks, Don.
Do you want to take this first, Oracle, or do you want me to do the who let the dogs?
Is this what made you this way? What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
So, and I realised this about John when he started marking out for Donny's GWE show. John's a big high spot merchant, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He gets really scared when he sees Ray sell a little bit as a babyface. Just can't do it. Where's my next Rana? You know, fast food guy. You know, one of those deals.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We like John. We do. We like him.
We do.
And he
We
likes
love
Donny a
John.
lot apparently too. But
He does. Well, because
Psychology.
John knows what everyone knows, and that is that Mike Brown has let the dogs out.
there you go.
Roof. I can't do it rough. My voice is cooked. I played basketball for 4 hours and yelled a lot.
You did?
I did earlier today. Yeah.
How did you play?
I had 2 good games, and the rest of them I just kind of stood in the corner and said, "Do this, guys," and they didn't listen to me.
Provided
but
spacing. Yeah,
I
like that.
did. Yeah, good spacing.
Yeah. I like that.
Out there like Josh Hart.
Yeah. Thank you, John Burr. John, I'm telling John now. We'll see how this goes because I'm not sure this list is going to be to John's liking. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. You know, it'll be fine. Riley Super Chat. Instead of Big Match John, we have Big Hat Bob. Booyaka.
Nice. I like it.
Thank you, Riley.
I like.
Kuzu Super Chat. I don't usually watch the World Cup, but the US match was pretty fun earlier in Brazil. Haiti. Looking forward to the informational Ray talk. Well, we didn't say informational, but we'll.
We will be talking about Ray, so if you
We
want
will.
to take that as informational,
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll let it play out. Thank you, Kuzu. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone joining us on a Friday night. There's so much going on in there. There's just so much going on. Nothing really in wrestling, but in sort of the broader scope, there's a lot going on. The chubby British fella did another interview, one of those FTR fellas. You see that? It was good. World Cup's on.
the top guys.
Yeah.
Oracle, cricket's
news.
back. It sure did. How great was that Observer graphic, dude?
Why did they use black and white?
I don't know.
Didn't even show a picture of Cash. It was just a picture of Randy.
Yeah, it was aggressive, very aggressive. Nonetheless, tonight our focus is Rey Mysterio. We always leave the honourable mentions for the end. If I forget those, chat, remind me, because we like to leave a bit of suspense as to what's going to make and what isn't. But I think we'll just dive in here, fellas, if that works for you. Does that sound good?
I see what you did there, dive, because Ray does dives.
Wasn't my intent, but it worked nicely nonetheless. Let's
Booyaka,
get started.
booyaka.
Let's get started. In at 15. We're heading back legitimately over 30 years ago. March 16th, 1996. AAA, if you will. To our free falls. As Ray Jr. takes on Hoovy. In a match that so the Hoovy and Ray stuff is stuff that I watched a few years ago. And I remember this match specifically because this is the one where they go like a little nutty on the interferences late. After like an insane, and the pro wrestling in this is incredible, but I do remember this being a somewhat infamous in terms of the overbooking. It is an acclaimed one. I'm intrigued how locked in our panel is on this. Before we get to it, Bobby, this was a big Dave hit at the time. I'm pretty sure. Do we have contemporary coverage on this, mate?
We do.
Yeah.
He did talk a little bit about the finishes and some stuff, but he said, still, it was the most heated match I've seen anywhere live or on tape in months, and as good as any match I've seen in 1996. He said it was as good as their ECW match, which I assume will come up later, but also rated a little higher. He gave it 4 3/4 on this one, so we're starting hot.
And, you know, with respect to our friends on the CW, that was a different level of Dave rating back in the olden days, right? It was a different thing. You know, so this is an interesting one because you mentioned it. Spoiler alert: we're going to talk about Hoovy more later on, and these matches are very in close proximity to one another. Donny, is this stuff you're familiar with? I'm intrigued here as we work through this list.
Yeah, so the Hoovy stuff, I think I've only seen once, like their most famous matches, like maybe 2 years ago by now. Mostly because Juventud Guerrero wasn't somebody that I like knew a lot of, so mostly I just wanted to learn about him, and obviously the Rey stuff is among his most acclaimed. I remember, like you said, the finishing stretch with all the interference, but I think the one thing with these matches that we'll get into, and I do personally prefer the ECW match, is that it feels like with a lot of these they're kind of all the same in terms of structure and the actual and I don't mean that as a knock because it's all great wrestling, but I just mean like they get a little hard to differentiate between each other just because they do happen so close to one another. And I mean, especially for the late 90s, there's only so much you can really do from a creative standpoint, which is not a knock because, again, Rey Mysterio in the 1990s, I'm sure, blew a lot of people's
state
minds.
of the art. We need to stress that. Yeah.
Of course. And, like, dude, Rey Mysterio in 2026 blows my mind. And I've been seeing him wrestle for fucking years now. So I can only imagine for people that wasn't, you know, the wrestling they were familiar with in the 90s. So this match is awesome. The AAA crowds in the mid to late 1990s, honestly, dating back to the late 80s, are like really, really hot. So that's always the point of note for me. It's always cool to just see Rey super young because it kind of feels like this part of his career is kind of lost in a weird way. Like, I think we talk about his ECW stuff and some of his stuff in Mexico, but it kind of feels like because he's been in the States for so long, people don't really talk about the stint that he spent in Mexico, which is kind of weird because obviously
it's a long time ago now, dude.
How crazy is that? I mean, he just had a fucking Intercontinental title match, like, what, a week ago now? Like, fucking weird. But yeah, this match is awesome. I figured that I didn't know if this one would make it just because I didn't know if the finishing stretch would take a lot of people out of it. But I just think the wrestling is so not only smooth, but almost like daredevilish. Like, it's just kind of crazy.
Absolutely daredevilish.
Fly around and bump like crazy. And Rey's bump card has got to be as maxed out as anybody's in the world. So, yeah, this match is a lot of fun. I don't know if I'd call it incredible for me personally, but I do find it really fun. So, worthy inclusion.
And this is something we should actually stress early on here is we do have on this particular panel we are probably going to veer towards the perversions of like structure and shit, you know, whereas like a normal person would definitely prefer the stuff where it's like the most exciting wrestling you've ever seen with the most innovative high spots you've ever seen. Yeah, so we do want to stress that, and as the list unfolds we'll see where the audience stands. There are a couple of surprises, and Hoovy, again, spoiler alert, will be coming up later. Oracle, you and I talked about this stuff when we did Historical Oracle, actually. We talked about the Rey Psych program and the Rey Hoovy program. Are you familiar with this particular AAAR match? Is this something that rings a bell for you? Because I know years and dates and such can run together.
I honestly, whenever I think of AAA Rey, I think of like 94. I don't even really remember. I'm actually not certain I've seen this. There's a chance I have, there's a chance I haven't. I honestly just don't remember it. When I think of March 96 and those two, I think of their back-to-back ECW matches from like the week before or whatever.
Yes, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
But, I mean, these two were doing like traveling, like recently, like I never posted it or whatever publicly, but I was like working on a playlist with Rey Jr. matches on YouTube. And I just like was going through Cage Match and like I saw how many like all over the world, basically either Rey Hoovy, Rey Psych, just like these guys wrestled each other so much from 94 to 90, 97, 98. But yeah, there were just so many matches. Great chemistry. Like absolutely nutty shit, you know, state of the art as you put it. Just an absolutely mind-blowing rivalry, surely back in the day. And definitely probably it doesn't get discussed as much as it should, in my opinion. I think Rey gets, but like the Rey Hoovy matches, the Rey Psychosis matches, those rivalries, Rey Eddie obviously as well, which is, you know, the biggest one. But Rey Hoovy and Rey Psych don't get talked about enough in terms of probably the influence that they had on future generations of wrestling.
I would agree. We're gonna have a few chances to talk about kind of the stateside response to these matches that you just described, it should be said, really, that, Juve, who I think has been somewhat memed, right, as the Juice, Like, Juve was... He was like every bit there with Ray at this time here in 1996.
Yes,
So this
he was.
wasn't. I do think that's kind of that's worth noting and stressing, and I think it's cool. Even if I think if you were to ask a different panel, a different audience for their Ray matches, this would probably come in higher. I think it's cool it made the list considering that in terms of like online discussion, as you and I have talked about before, Oracle, Lucha can often suffer in that deal, right? In the sense that there's not as much of like an established discourse and debate and conversation. It's just like, here's the matches and the dates a lot of time for people. So I'm glad it made the list at all. It's pretty cool. And an immediate entry in terms of famed rival who will be coming up here later. We are about to jump 23 years here for our number 14.
Wow.
As we go from AAA to Friday Night SmackDown. This would have been... January 15th, 2019. What network was SmackDown? USA?
USA at the time,
Yeah.
Andrade.
Wow.
Just Andrade,
Yes.
not Andrade Cien Almas, not Andrade El Idolo, just mere Andrade. This is the week before the 2 out of 3 Falls match, which is also awesome. They do a ladder match later in the year. This was it's difficult to explain. There's birds chirping. I'll close the door in a second. But it's difficult to explain. These matches are great, but I also think for those of us that were around at the time, this was a really cool thing because it was like, holy shit, Ray is still like... He's with a Ray opponent, he can still be fully Ray. Because he did some stuff with Andrade he hadn't done in a long time. Oracle, memories of this program while I close the door because the birds are chirping.
Yeah, this was... so Ray had just come back fully full-time to WWE in October 2018 for the... I think it was SmackDown 1000 against Nakamura. And he was kind of floundering. He had a feud with Randy Orton. Randy was like evil Randy Orton again. They had a bad match on pay-per-view, actually, like a chairs match or something.
Yeah. That match is really bad, yeah.
And but this was like, and I remember I don't remember how they set it up, but they just had these matches, and like this one in particular was like, holy shit, man, this is like the guy that we this is the guy that we were losing our mind about. And he really did a good, because this was like what I like so much about this match is it sort of, they balanced really well with the sort of late 90s Ray Jr. like, oh my God, look at that spot, look at that move, with the selling and structure that he mastered so well in his initial WWE run. Really, really, really great match. One of the best matches in WWE in 2019 for sure. It was honestly mind-blowing again, because you did at that point, Ray, who was 44 years old, you wouldn't expect him to be able to do some of the things he did in that match, and it was just the timing and stuff was just honestly extraordinary to see. Basically, just knowing Ray's history and in the history of the knee damage that he's dealt with, and I mean, just good Lord, yeah, absolutely fucking awesome match.
And it should be said, this would actually have, and this will happen a few times, so I'll establish it now. Some of these rivals would have done better if they had just one match. So, like with Psych and Juve, that will come up. But even with Andrade, there were votes for this match, 2 out of 3 Falls, and the ladder match. All got votes. So, it speaks to kind of, for a generation, Andrade being like a memorable Ray opponent. I do think it's pretty romantic that as much as he had chemistry with Andrade, he still couldn't hit the fucking DDT spot that him and Eddie hit all those years prior. Because they tried it, remember? They tried to hit the moonsault DDT. Yeah, these two had fabulous chemistry. I recently watched this Vibu, and like, our takeaway was, if this happened today, people would be like, full 5, going to be classic. Like, it's that good, this particular match. So, awesome match. Bobby, what did Dave say at the time?
This show featured maybe the best main roster television match in months, with Andrade beating Mysterio, which is a surprise. His 50-50 booking would tell you this week was Ray's turn. They're trying to do something with Andrade since he's told his friends that WWE isn't what it's cracked up to be, and now his friends are valuable pawns. But I'd go 4 1/4 for that match, and it's a sign that they're going further with the program, which is a good thing for both of them.
Oh, Dave
He's
Meltzer
just-
editorializing. Let me tell you, ain't nothing better.
Yeah, Andrade's always had the juice when it comes to the surrounding stories and narratives. I didn't even realize that was a thing in 2019. Did you?
No,
Like that's
Me neither.
he's always had it. Wow, great stuff. Excellent, Donny. Memories on this one, mate.
Yeah, I think you put it perfectly. If this happened now, this would be heralded as like one of the best matches in company history. But it was buried on 2019 SmackDown, so nobody really remembers that. Again, the WWE roster in 2019 was fucking awesome. Maybe the best they've ever had. This was cool because Andrade's main roster run up until that point was not noteworthy, as he noted himself clearly. And so it was cool to see him have a match this good again. And it was just him and Rey is one of those matches that if you were to fantasy book an Andrade like run anywhere, you'd love to see him wrestle Rey Mysterio. So the fact that he got to do it on TV and it be this good is I prefer this to the 2 out of 3 falls match personally.
Me too.
I think that because I think what Oracle brought it up, and it's the perfect description. I think what makes this so good is that yes, Andrade can also do those really cool high spots in the fireworks, but he also is really mean. Like Andrade is one of those guys that's like sneakily tall, especially up against somebody like Rey Mysterio, which again, everybody looks tall against Rey, but specifically Andrade gets a real opportunity to be a bully in this match, which I think only is heightened by the fact that Rey's kind of at this point where because of the history with his knees and the fact that he's getting up there in age, there's almost this earnestness to his work now as an older man that like you always are left wondering, like, can he still pull off anything, let alone anything that, you know, would be considered death-defying or fireworky. And every time he does, Andrade just bumps his ass off for him, and Rey's just so full of life in this match. And I've always come away impressed with how they managed to get a crowd, again, in 2019 WWE to be this electric for them, because the crowds at this point are given nothing to cheer for because the shows are so barren. And so it's just really cool to see what, you know, sometimes with matches like this and in certain eras, you always wonder, like, man, if only they did it at this era, maybe it would have been better. And I guess you can say that for this too. But I think if nothing else, this stands out for being able to take place in a time period where matches like this weren't commonplace in the company they were in. And that's why I think it's always stood out as like a novelty thing. But it extends beyond that. It's just a really, really fucking great match. And honestly, still one of the best matches of Andrade's career, to be honest with you, as well as Rey. So, yeah, this is awesome. And I'm very, very glad that it made the list, especially over the 2 out of 3. I don't know if the 2 out of 3 falls made it, but regardless, I'm glad
It
this
did not.
made it on
This
here.
is
Okay,
this
well,
is Andy's only entry.
I'm glad that it made
I
it
will
on
say,
here.
I fear for you, Donny, whenever you ever meet Bob, because you describing Andrade as sneaky tall, Bob may legitimately strike you as like Andre the Giant, I think. Like,
I mean, he might, yeah.
yeah. Andrade being accused of sneaky tall is one of the biggest accusations sent his way ever, I think. So I like it. That's saying something. Yeah. Nonetheless, let's stop there for a moment. Bobby, our friend John is back. Take it away.
Can you believe that where's the suplex-addicted son who's as good as our prodigal Rey ended up more famous for ecstasy, homemade prophylactics, and rock impressions than in-ring skill? Thanks, John. It's a good question.
Amazingly, I kind of touched on that in a roundabout way.
Yeah, you did, because right after he said that, you said the Jews, and I started laughing.
Yeah, there you go.
Now
it's
I'm
good.
talking. Fuck.
Bobby reading the super chats gives me a little hydration break, which is a pop culture reference.
Oh, I
Kevin.
fucking hate that shit.
I knew
Shout out
you would.
Telemundo doesn't cut away, thank God.
Listen, I played soccer for years. I grew up in the American South. I played in this fucking heat. You don't get a fucking hydration break. What the hell?
I mean,
I
fair.
did see that someone tweeted about the England players struggling with the heat, and I saw that the Oracle of Wrestling referenced me in response to this.
He did?
I
He
said
did.
Holbert, bitches about 80 degrees. Won't shut the fuck up about 80 degree weather.
I don't even talk about it. That's the worst part.
You did last summer. I just you
Yeah.
know, took a mental note like an
Yeah, that's
asshole.
fair. There you go.
Mental note.
All right. It's podcasting out of a shed, Brett, does it to you. I'm telling you, it's brutal. Nonetheless, let's keep it moving. This one has been on a list before and was controversial then. And as much as I like both guys, and our boy Tim Bosby loves this one, I'm still surprised to see it here. WrestleMania 21. Eddie Guerrero, April 3rd, 2005. I like this match. I am surprised it made...
Wow.
Yes, I was surprised it made the Eddie list. I'm more surprised it made the Ray list. This actually really surprised
So
me.
this is
made it.
13.
This is 13.
Wow.
And there is
Okay,
obviously
I
more
have to
Eddie
interrupt
ahead.
and say this very quickly.
Yeah.
I strongly disagree with this rating. I like this match. It's
too.
good.
Yeah.
But there is
So
I don't
many.
want to take it away from Bobby because I suspect Dave has something about it in the
I
review.
think so. Yeah.
But that absolutely affects the match for me as well. And I don't.
Yeah.
This is actually the one I've disagreed the most of all the top 15 shows I've been on. This is the first rating that I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. I agree because it's like, and again, I like the match, but they have so many better matches to me.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many better matches.
But I guess,
in 2005.
do we think this is a case of like, and this is not me being a prick, I'm just being serious. Like, for younger fans, Mania is such an easy way to speed run history in it, you know?
Sure.
So, like, this is the match they remember. Or I guess if you were a kid, I guess it would be I get that. You'd have, because they open WrestleMania, yeah. It's not really, for me, it wouldn't be close to the top 15, but that's where it came in. It came in at number 13. Bobby, what did Dave say about this at the time, mate?
Yeah, honestly, not a ton. He didn't love it. You know, he talked about Rey's mask being all messed up, and then
there you go.
Kind of did a review, and then said post match they shook hands and hugged, but Guerrero made the facials that would tease an impending heel turn 3 1/4. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of with you guys. Like, I had the WrestleMania 21 DVD. I've watched this match plenty of times. It's their third or fourth best match, 2005, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Not to mention just all the other stuff they have.
Right. Yeah. We'll talk about more later, but yeah, it's
wow.
It's interesting one. The mask oracle is what you were referencing, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's constantly adjusting it. And
he is.
Yeah.
Once that Dave mentioned, you know, one of those Dave lures, and then like nobody can never get out of their head. But he's not wrong. Like
No.
you watch the match and you're like, man, Rey's really just fiddling with this fucking mask the whole time, and it's like, it's good. They try, you know, they do their typical creative stuff and have some nice spots and whatnot, but it's just. And there's, of course, the story with Eddie can't beat Rey, and it's well done, but it's also just not as visceral and story driven as the June match, not as campy as the ladder match, right?
Yeah.
But I mean that in like a kind of a fun sports entertainment way that they can do sometimes, and not as sort of violent and personal as the cage match. You know, this was just sort of the
other pay-per-view match too. It was the other pay-per-view match with a chair shot at the end.
That's
Judgment Day.
Yeah, that one's very good too.
That's better too, I think.
Really
It is better.
Yeah. I mean, what's weird about this match is it's a WrestleMania match. That's a setup match because they do a whole feud after this, isn't it? So, yeah, it's an interesting one. Donny, are we off base here? Is there a different feeling for you as a younger grinner here? What do you reckon?
No, I don't. To me, for Rey and Eddie standards, this is like really cold. Like I've seen this match a handful of times because I really like WrestleMania 21 just for like personal. But like I've always walked away thinking like this is maybe my least favorite match of theirs that I've seen. Like it's good because their baseline is good, but there's nothing here that's like out of this world. You know, like it just at times it honestly feels like they're kind of just going through the motions because they know they have more stuff to get to. So, which is kind of weird for two guys who are so prideful in their work and for it being WrestleMania, which especially in 2005 was like a really big deal. This match doesn't feel like a big deal. It honestly feels like a match that if you were telling the Rey and Eddie story, you kind of don't have, you should probably mention it because I think somebody in our chat mentioned it's their only WrestleMania match. So I guess for that reason, it's noteworthy, but like it doesn't really do anything for their story. It's just a match on a card. Like, I don't know. It's good.
It's
they're
also
good.
I also think it's interesting that they open the show where now if you have the Mania opener, that's a coveted spot because you have so much time. Whereas back then it was considered a classic opener.
Yeah,
So you had to. They didn't really have. You do wonder if they were just like, oh, let's get our shit in, and they kind of blew a couple things and like raised and they were just trying to like. It almost felt rushed at times.
I also don't know if like. I don't know if that crop of guys was like a mark for the Mania shit, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I'm not certain they were either.
Like, I don't get me wrong, if they had a big match on Mania, as we saw, like, you'd see them wrestle differently. But if it was just being on Mania, I don't know if it was like, oh my god, we better we have a wrestling match and we know where we're going and we'll. Again, I think it's good for what it is. I like the match. I want to make clear about that, but he's interested from our friend Tim Bosby. He's a big fan of this one, so we'll have to hear from him. Maybe he'll clue us in on what we're missing. But a little surprise here early on our list. Hope you're all enjoying this program, folks. Please do smash the like button, all good stuff. Caden Lee, but remember, for 19 months says England isn't that hot, grow up. legitimately haven't made one comment about the heat in England. Caden Lee earlier today sent a thing about Florida heat and said, "Oh my God, I'm going to die." So, I mean, really begs the question, which one of us is the coward here? Thank you, Caden. All right. Big vibe shift coming up here. Big vibe shift. I'm glad this made it, because this is like, this is a pretty cool piece of business. I like the match, but it's more interesting to me as like a thing that happened. As we're headed back to February 21st, 1997.
Yes.
Promo Azteca. El Hijo del Santo and Rey Jr. So,
Yes.
this is, I saw this recently. Like, not the match, I saw this, I've seen the match before, but I meant the YouTube thing. This is like a Roy Lucia upload that I think legitimately has like 500,000 plus views, which just, it pops me. Like, you so often see people kind of, the way that people just put Lucha in a box, and you really can the cultural significance of a matchup like this is so much bigger than I think like its smart fan rep probably is at this point among young fans, right? Like Donny, you've seen this match, clearly based reaction, but is this a match you'll bring up to you as like a young hardcore fan at all?
No, I honestly, like, the only reason I know about this match is, shout out Elliot. He sent it to me like 2.5 years ago, because he's like, this is the only time they ever wrestled, and they're really cool. And I literally, like, even to this day, I think I've seen like maybe like 5 people ever bring it up to me.
Right. And it's like,
which is weird.
This is a really big deal that these two wrestled.
Yeah, they're two of the most prolific luchadors of all time.
Yeah, I like this match. There's elements to it I don't love, but Donny, you seem to be much more bullish on it, so take it away, my friend.
Yeah, this to me is such a cool snapshot of history, because again, these guys never wrestle again. And it's like, to me, the idea that this is handheld footage of two of the most famous professional wrestlers of all time having a wrestling match, it's just really cool. And I've always appreciated that novelty, because in a weird way, I always felt like this match came across like both of them wrestled like they knew it was a novelty, if that makes sense. Like, it's weird. Like, obviously Rey is still a lot younger, and he's still developing his sort of stature in the wrestling world. But I mean, going up against El Hijo del Santo, who to this point is, again, arguably the most famous luchador, maybe among the most famous wrestlers that have ever lived, period, to get to wrestle a young Rey Mysterio, it's just really cool. And I've always really liked the match. I definitely can understand why, Joe, you said that there were some things you didn't like. I definitely get some of the elements of it that can be a little flimsy for somebody if they're watching it. But I don't know. I just always found this really fun. It's kind of cool to see Santo do like the fireworks match. He doesn't really do that a lot. He's more of a mat technician and more of a brawler. So to see him kind of play Rey's game in a way, especially with the size discrepancy, is really, really cool. I didn't have it in my top 5. I don't know if it would probably make the lower end of the top 15. So my reaction is more so just I didn't think it would make the list, because again,
it's cool it made it.
Yeah, like there's no real conversation about this match, like other than people thinking, oh, it's cool that this happened and we can look it up. But I think the match is actually really good for what it is.
Is this from '97?
Yeah. Promos.
Okay, yeah. I've seen it one time.
It's
a few years ago. It's good. I don't love it.
Right. Go
it's a pretty good match. Definitely a novelty match, like Donnie said, but I'm glad that it happened. And I have, weirdly, because of what we talked about with how many good Ray Eddie matches are, I have less of a problem with this. I'm not sure I like it at 12, but I have less of a problem with this one being on there than the previous.
Because it's a cool thing to get on. Like, we're a small platform, but it's still cool that when we open it up to socials, this still made the top 15. It's still cool.
And it also shows, because again, we do have a younger audience.
Yeah.
It shows that they're going and watching older stuff, right? And
it's awesome.
Yeah. So like that's a
I
great
just remember there being a lot of like, it takes a while to get going from what I remember this match. It's my
it is very slow at the start.
Was this one of those weird? Was this at like what promotion was this?
This was Promo Azteca in Tijuana.
That's right, Promo Azteca. That's right. It was like, because Promo Azteca is like the '90s one that's like the third kind of, right?
I believe so. Yeah, this is not my domain, but '97. You're looking at like, it's an interesting time for the match to have happened too, isn't it? Really, when you think about it, where all the stuff Rey's doing in '97 in WCW. Yeah. So, interesting one for sure. Bobby, was this saying that got any coverage at the time? Because I know this is a Just like different one in terms of the.
No,
vibe.
it was actually.
Good.
It was mainly a 70s psychology style match that you would imagine with two scientific superstars like a Billy Robinson versus Jack Briscoe, but using 90s moves. I guess the best similarity would be a Dean Malenko versus Eddie Guerrero or Ultimo Dragon type of match. The match contained very little flying, but enough to get a taste of it, with each man doing dives. But it was almost entirely great mat work, awesome psychology, with a storyline where Mysterio continually escaped the camel clutch until it was finally locked on. He had to submit. 4 stars.
It's interesting. Like the reason I asked was, I was wondering if this was something Dave saw like fucking months later. You know, it's like, by the way, sometimes he does that.
Yeah, no, it was right. Kind of, it was within the month that it happened. Yeah, because I was looking it up.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Bobby. What's up, Oracle?
I wanted to interrupt briefly. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Yeah. I'm sorry, Bobby. So basically, I'm sorry for the distractors. Almost a fight in this Paraguay Turkey game. Sorry, apologize for the distraction. Much respect to John Burr, and I apologize to him because I buried him. The dude watched 50 raid matches and ranked them. That is fucking beast.
But with John's generation, he may have had him on 3 times speed to just because he goes through them quickly, because the selling's not important. No, it was cool. It's cool seeing John watch that stuff. Yeah, it's true. The thing with these list shows, they're an excuse to watch guys more, right? That's what they're supposed to do. So, tremendous stuff. We're about to enter Donny's domain, dare I say.
No fucking way. This no way.
Number 11, July 25th, 2011. WWE Monday Night Raw. Bro, I'm so ready to John's next chat. John Cena. This is an interesting one because this has definitely swelled in reputation because people have had to divorce the match from the creative. Right? This is an infamous piece of WWE creative. Like, this is, like, all of it. Like, the fact Punk comes back right afterwards just walks out. The fact that, for some reason, John Cena beats a babyface. All this stuff. However, if you can somehow divorce everything I just mentioned and just watch the match, there's a lot of good here. We'll build to Donald. Before we go, Oracle, Bobby, was this something that Dave liked at the time? I thought it was a hell of a match. What did he think?
He called it a great match. Said Cena was clumsy in a few spots, having trouble when the pacing got fast, but sold a lot, and the match made sense. Did not star rate it, though. Also appreciated Jim Ross announcing the Cena vs. Mysterio match. Would have been a great presentation either way, but it helped the match get over because it was treated as an important contest as opposed to the match being a backdrop for the announcers bickering over the product.
Right, and so I should say, because I mentioned it earlier, the reason they did a babyface match was because the idea was they were going to just let the guys wrestle and get out of all the politics and the drama. That was the idea. And I thought the guys nailed that. This may be... I'm hesitant on this because I may be missing something. This may be the last great Jim Ross call where he's like fully JR. He's great on this match, dude. Like he's fully back. He's fully Jim Ross here. So that was something that really stood out to me. Oracle, what do you say, mate? You surprised by this? What do you reckon?
I feel like this is a I feel like this is they're shouting in my home from the other room.
I can't hear that. I can just hear WhatsApp notifications.
Oh shit! Yeah, hold on. Let me silent my phone because everybody's.
I can't hear anyone shouting. I just hear your phone.
So I love this match. I loved it at the time. Initially, I'm like, okay, a little, but it's not surprising it made this list because I think, again, with our audience, I feel like it's a match that would make it. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just think it's like two big guys, two big stars. They're I mean, they have like a singles match of 3, maybe another one.
No, it's just those two.
But like, this is their only like big match, right? And it's really, really good. I mean, yeah, Ray has this great match with The Miz, and then wins the title, and then at the end of the night, he has to fucking. It's dumb, but like. This match is really good. I remember watching it live. One of my favorite Ray matches. I wouldn't have it this high personally. Not even that close to this high probably, but I was so happy to see Ray and Cena have that match and have a title match. And they delivered. But yeah, this is honestly one of my all-time favorite Rey matches, just because we got to have that Cena match.
Yeah, and in a strange way, it's actually similar to the last match in that it's a singular kind of novelty thing, right? In the sense that, as you mentioned, they wrestled before, but two top baby faces, two of WWE's kind of like comic book heroes, having what is really, it's weird to say about a Rey match, but this is kind of like a bomb fest. They kind of just go all out, right? It's not long. Great crowd. Donny, you were fighting the corner of this one, mate. You happy with the placement? What do you reckon?
Yeah, so I had this number 2. I'm just gonna tell a quick story, but I always show this John Cena figure because it was a really cool trip that my dad took me to Toys R Us for. I got 2 action figures on that day. The other one is this Rey Mysterio action figure, which I thought was very, very cool to show. Kane's somewhere in the toy box back there, but I think this
Kane.
yeah, I think this match is fucking incredible. I actually had a top 10 in the Cena World Title match video, which is still in production. You can watch that now. I think that it's just an unbelievable piece of business. I think it's one of the best TV matches this company's ever put on. To me, what stands out is babyface matches can be really weird because sometimes, right, like somebody's going to lean heel just because it's kind of the natural order of things. Neither guy does that in this match. This match is a straight up 2 good guys, relatively speaking, because I know some people were very mad that Cena won, and I get it, because I would have been mad too if I could remember watching this live. But this match is as pure a babyface match as you'll probably ever find, to be honest. Like, no guy, it's 2 competitors having a competitive match in the heat of competition out of mutual respect and the desire to be the world champion. And I appreciated that this match stayed true to who both guys are. There is some unbelievable selling from John Cena in this match, which some people always hold against him. His selling in this match, particularly, he tries to do the roll through AA, and his knee just buckles, and he immediately cowers to the ropes, which is an awesome setup for the 619. Rey takes legitimately one of the meanest lariats I've ever seen someone take in my life on the outside. He does like a barrel roll off the steps into a sliding Cena clothesline that I legitimately, every time I see it, wince at. It's unbelievable. Joe, you brought it up, but JR being in this match is just, I mean, it's so beautiful because it's an actual like pro wrestling match, which this kind of weird run that JR has in the early 2010s where like he's calling stuff, but he's not there full time, but he's there. He's brought in every now and again. He never really got to call another pure wrestling match like he does here. And I forget what show I think you brought this up on the One Night Stand show where he had a very specific way about calling John Cena matches that because he like in a way understood how to convey what it was about Cena as a competitor to an audience that maybe people didn't see. And I think Rey was such a perfect complement to that because again, Cena got to be a powerhouse in this match, and Rey got to be the plucky underdog who would stick and move. He'd get him with leg kicks. He'd get him with seated sentons. And it was just, there's another nasty spot, which gets gift a lot. It's the powerbomb spot where Rey tries to do the senton and Cena just shoves him off and he lands on his face. And it's just, for 13 minutes, I mean, for 13 minutes, they really couldn't do anything else. It's just, this match is awesome. I love it more and more every time I see it. It's easily one of the most like, it's like a comfort match because it's just so easy to turn on and watch. It's legit like less than 15 minutes. You can just turn it on and watch the whole thing through. I also do have to say that, yes, it is really stupid that John Cena beat a babyface an hour after he won the title. That is really stupid. Creative was shit. We know these things. However, if you can find a way to separate the two, this match is fucking awesome. I honestly, legit, I didn't know if this would make the list just because I didn't know if people could separate the two. 11 is great. I'm glad it made it.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome, man.
It has like a really low rating on our beloved Dropkicked. It has like a 3.3 or something.
Yeah. That's bullshit.
Which is almost the whole point lower than the Good Brothers Neo Global Tag League final.
Great match, by the way.
Bob, just out of interest, not that I know already, did Dave rate that by chance, mate? Classic. Monitor. See, Donny, so I'm saying? Kicks the Ethernet cable out. Bob? Oh, wow. All right. Well, in the meantime, guys, just reminded me, Donny. Remember this gear?
I don't want to, really.
Fascinating gear. When they made us a figure, I was like, I need this just because how fucking weird it is. Hello, Bob.
Hello.
Hello, mate. Did Dave Meltzer rate the?
Very concerned about this.
Yep, I would be too. Did Dave rate the Noah Global Tag League final? I'm doing this all for a bit too. Like, I know the answer. What am I doing? Why am I doing this?
No, he heard it was surprisingly good though.
He did, but he didn't watch it. Oh, okay, interesting.
Well,
I'm glad
you
he
know.
made time for. Yeah, I'm glad he made time for NXT.
Joe, you gave this Cena Rey match 4 1/4, dude. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's it.
Same rating I gave the Geo.
There we go.
What is the fuck is it called? The Neo Global Tag League. That's what it's called.
Global Tag.
The Theo.
Just call it the Real World Tag League. Come on, just steal it. All right.
Did a Good Brothers match make it on here?
We're not quite. We're heading to the top 10. Oh, baby. Bash at the Beach, July 7th, 1996. Psychosis
Okay.
enters the list, and this is one we actually covered recently, Alex and I, on the Criterion Collection. Another edition of that coming next week, by the way. But we talked about this. This is the night where WCW transforms pro wrestling, and they start the show with a statement match, right? They start the show with a match that makes it clear that as well as those major happenings in the main event, there are going to be some insane stylistic thrills. I'm surprised this didn't get higher. Spoiler alert, more Psychosis ahead. Splits the votes, right? But we're starting with Bash at the Beach, 96. Donny, Psych and Ray tearing it up in a big room.
I'm curious for you guys. Do you guys think that the reason this didn't make is because it kind of gets overshadowed by the big angle? That has to be why, right? Like, it just feels like...
I genuinely think this... The only reason it didn't get higher is because of the other matches he has with Psych. Because we're going to be talking about Psychosis a lot.
Of course, yeah. But yeah, this match is awesome, dude. It apply everything that we said about Juvi to Psychosis. These two had great matches all over the fucking place. I mean, this is just another one. And again, it kind of feels like a hidden gem just because it happened on one of the biggest shows in wrestling history in terms of, obviously the big angle at the end. But there was no greater indicator of what WCW would be, even for a short window. This kind of feels like a snapshot of a statement company where they're like, okay, this is who we're going to be on top of the big gravitas things that we're going to have with the NWO, with Sting to come, and all these big stars that were coming in. It felt like this was WCW saying, this is going to be our backbone. And man, I mean, in 1996, 1997, there were very few guys in the world you'd want as your backbone more than Rey Mysterio and Psychosis. This match is so much fun. Again, like most Rey matches, so easy to just go back to and revisit. And every time you do, you kind of get your mind blown at just the shit that they can pull off. Like, obviously we're going to talk about Rey on it, but Psychosis, again, right there with Rey every step of the way, not a slouch in any respect. These two guys just fly around. Psychosis also beats the shit out of Rey too in this match, which is really cool. Gets really stiff and nasty, and it's just, another one where there's so many matches to choose from that it almost just becomes a pick your litter of gold. Like, there's just so many different, places that you can go to. And if somebody said this is their favorite Rey match, their favorite Rey Psychosis match, would not argue you at all. I think I maybe have one more that we might talk about ahead of this in terms of this specific pairing. But yeah, this match is awesome. And it's just, again, really cool because stateside especially, this wasn't a brand of wrestling that was particularly spotlighted or showcased. And so
not in the mainstream for sure.
No, so especially for a big promotion like WCW to go, no, these are going to be our guys, was a really, really cool thing to see for the time. So yeah, this match is awesome. Great pairing.
One thing I do think about this match that gets lost a little is, like, I think people in their mind think of this as just go, go, go. I actually think it's they absolutely do take the time to have, like, a real match, quote unquote. Like, I think the reputation of this is more. They have other matches that are more like just pure highlight reel. I think this has a little bit more variety to it, which to be clear, don't necessarily mean as an indictment of the other matches, because I don't think this is their best match, but I do think you can see them adjust to the setting a little bit, which I think probably gets lost to time because people just remember the last few minutes where they go fucking bonkers, So it's an awesome, awesome match. Oracle, you surprised it didn't get higher, mate? It's a famous one. Bash at the Beach 96.
Yeah, I thought this might go, higher. This was a message board favorite for years and years and years. This was the first, because this wasn't, Ray's first match was at Great American Bash the month before with against Malenko, and this was the first match that, like, people were like, "Holy shit, this Rey Mysterio guy." Stateside, and great match. I remember, the thing I remember about the match is that the crowd's kind of neutral at first,
Yeah.
kind of lukewarm, and they end up, because they're trying to work like a heat segment and stuff, and then they start just going completely balls to the wall, and the crowd sort of picks up from there. I actually like Psychosis on offense a lot, and I think he's a really good heel. He's a really good cocky heel.
Mm-hmm.
He always has great setups for his crazy bumping and whatnot. Just a spectacular match. The dives to the floor are always super memorable in this match. And for me, I guess we were talking about in general why it didn't rank so highly. For me, when I think of Bash of the Beast '96, I think of the NWO Hogan heel turn first.
Right.
but
Which,
Mhm.
yeah.
These like those are the things I think of when I think of that show, and this is this match was one of them. But just an awesome match. I'd have to watch them all back to back to back. I feel like there's one of their ECW matches from '95 I might like a little bit better.
There is. We'll get to
But
that.
yeah, their feud in general, just like the Hoovy one was just basically appointment viewing in the '90s. Depending on where you were, basically all over the world.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a cool way, like Bash of the Beach '96 really does capture. It's a cool snapshot of the WCW that's about to dominate, right? Like having this open and that close, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool, Bobby. I know this is one that Dave was in love with at the time, and understandably so, right?
He was. He mostly just did a match recap, but he was very high on praising the work, and said that Psychosis did what was the greatest hot shot in wrestling history. 4 3/4. I had this. What did I have this? Third. So
There you go.
yeah.
There you go, Bobby. Third. That speaks to how understandable it is. People had this in their very, very top. Bobby's right there with you. Our friend Brainbuster, who is gaming, if you will, sent a super chat and said, "I've never experienced England heat, so I can't personally say whether it's bad or not. Hope you're doing good, guys." That's why, Busters.
Hey, I've watched enough TV to know, bro.
Bro.
I've seen it. Hey, I've met enough Brits at wrestling shows to see their skin tone. It ain't fucking hot where they're at. All right.
Fair. Yeah, not wrong. All right. Once again, we're jumping around the Rey timeline here. We're going back to Eddie Guerrero. June 23rd, 2005. SmackDown. Eddie and Rey in what I believe, and I recently told Donny about this, as an official recommendation. I think this is one of the most unique WWE TV matches I've ever seen, because this match goes almost half an hour, and it has no interest in following the television kind of framework or outline in terms of pace. It honestly feels like a house show main event, and for me, that's the biggest compliment I can give it. It's definitely heavy on heat for some, and I get that. It can be a little dry. But I just think this match is so interesting as a contrast to what they did famously at Halloween Havoc, especially. Like, has a totally different cadence. I don't expect this to be one that Dave was as high on. I'm sure he liked it, to be clear. But, Donny, I recently recommended this to you. This is a very different, for a 2005 TV match, this is fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, so I just went back because I think I texted you what I thought about it, like right after. I just went back to see what I said, and I mean, this had actually legitimately, when Joe recommended it to me, that was the first time I'd ever seen this match. Like, I hadn't, for some reason, I guess it's just escaped me. Like, I've seen a bunch of Rey and Eddie's work, and I'd never seen this. I thought this match was awesome, primarily because it is so different to what you'd expect a Rey and Eddie match to be, that it almost feels like a completely different pairing in a way. And I mean that in such a complimentary fashion. Like, it's such a slow match that lives in the details, right? And I think this is a match that really captures why Rey Mysterio is arguably, if you wanted to call him the greatest babyface of all time, I couldn't really argue you. So much of what he accomplishes in this match is when he's literally doing nothing. I mean, there are moments where Eddie's just walking around, flexing, showboating, talking trash, and Rey's just simply like leaning on the ropes, and like looking out at the front row, and and the people are with him. It's like there's like a mental connection that these people like. Ray looks at him and they know, all right, this is our time. We got to give him energy. And Eddie is so mean in this match, and I think this is a match that follows such a great structure because the opening moments, right, are Ray gets the best of Eddie because that's just how this has gone, right? Eddie can't figure him out. And so what does Eddie do? He immediately gets mean. He starts using the steps. He starts using the ring post. He starts bending the rules a little bit, but not fully cheating because he's still in that kind of in-between phase. And then by the end, there is no in-between phase. I mean, this guy is a pure asshole by the end of this match. And what I really love too is Michael Cole and Taz specifically are fucking amazing on the call in this match. They are legitimately treating Ray like he's about to win like the fucking World Cup on his own. Like he's like him beating, even though he's already beaten Eddie Guerrero before. Like that's why this match is so great to me. Ray's already beaten Eddie Guerrero, and yet it comes across like the ultimate mountain for him to climb if he can beat this version of Eddie. And Taz and Cole are yelling like, come on, you gotta just get up, you gotta fight. And then when he beats him and they're like, oh my God, Rey Mysterio beat him. And it's like this big thing, and Eddie's just so pissed and dejected. And it's a match that takes its time, but that you benefit from letting it breathe in a way where like a lot of their matches can be really go because that they're awesome in that and they're really creative. This feels more like an old school traditional wrestling match in that sense, where you really have to wait for the catharsis at the end that Ray somehow just barely managed to survive this version of Eddie Guerrero. And again, for a 2005 SmackDown TV match, you weren't seeing a match like this honestly anywhere for two big stars of this caliber. I mean, this match was awesome.
You just watched it, but is it? There's no. From what I remember, there's like no falsies in this, basically.
No. Yeah. Everything is like normal, like just wrestling moves, like backbreakers, and I think the big heat segment's like an abdominal stretch, like that.
Eddie takes big falsie. Dude, Eddie takes more heat in this than you'll see guys like ever take.
It has
on
to
television.
Be like 16 minutes of heat, dude. Something
beats
like
the
that.
hell out of him. Yeah, and he's just so cold, isn't he? In this run, Eddie, he's just like
no
disdain
emotion
to all his work. Yeah. Bobby, what did Dave say at the time? This feels like less his flavor, but I'm sure he liked it. What did he say?
Yeah, they won 27-38 in what was mainly an old school style, relatively slow paced match. It built well. It came off to me as two guys who are far better doing 15 to 18 minutes to change their game because they were booked to do twice that and prove they could do it well. Michael Cole and Taz did a great job of announcing this match. 4 stars.
Yeah, fair enough if you want. I get it. The Oracle of Wrestling, this is one you actually put me onto. This was a big hit among the message board folk, right?
Oh yeah, this is a WWF classic, one of the best matches in the history of the company, according to a lot of people. Actually, it finished pretty well in the 2008 Smarks Choice poll. Mm-hmm. Granted, back then it was obviously a little bit more, in the recent memory, right?
Right.
Over the years, as the community's grown and whatnot, and the I think that match has kind of lost its
I agree,
recognition, because there's so many of the younger fans. You watch this first, you watch this one, you watch that one, which is fine, but it's kind of lost in translation. And I mean, the most uniquely worked match in their feud, not even close. Definitely. I mean, Dave's description's spot on. He just doesn't like that wrestling as much as a favorite type of wrestling, which is fine. Yeah. But I actually was pleased with, Dave's description is it's an old school style match.
Mm-hmm.
The long heat, Ray looking to the crowd, looking to the stands, right? The complete transformation of Eddie Guerrero. That's what the match was sort of praised for at the time in the boards. It was the exemplification of Eddie's transformation from friend to horrifying villain and foe by the end of the match. And I think it's one of the more masterful performances by Eddie Guerrero, maybe in the history of wrestling in that match.
Yeah.
Because it's a people think, it's just absurd. I mean, like, people say absurd shit all the time. They say Will Ospreay and Ricochet had a 5-star match 10 years ago. So, I mean, people I like.
Where did that come from?
I have to just start arguments.
I'm adjusting the tassels on this Ray figure, and I hear Will Ospreay come up out of nowhere. Where did that come from? Young Blink said, "Good one."
Well, I realized that what I said could be perceived by somebody would go, "Oh, that's ridiculous." Well, it's not, as it is true.
I hear you.
But good one. Two well-timed I hear yous tonight. But yeah, just honestly, I think it's Eddie's best performance of his career. I don't even think it's close. To be able to, not that they were cheering him in the beginning of the match or anything, but to be able to display that and make a match like that work in 2005 WWE is pretty extraordinary.
Yeah.
So
no, I definitely agree. Awesome match. Tremendous variety here as we keep the top 10 moving. Folks, hope you're enjoying the stream. If you haven't already, my friend Bob has a message for you. Bob?
Yep, if you're having a good time, you can smash the like button. You could actually like it 619 times. It's an odd number. So consider
that would
that.
be quite a commitment, wouldn't it? That would be a commitment, definitely. Thank you, Bob.
Good bet.
All right, number 8. Returning to AAA, September 22nd, 1995. Psychosis. Remember I mentioned how the split of the vote? Psychosis is back. Mm-hmm. This was a Dave 5, unless I'm mistaken. Bob's about to clue us in, but I'm almost certain this was a Dave 5. 2 out of 3 falls match. This is, obviously there's a lot of overlap in terms of content and material, but like, this is more of, I would say, I'll wait until he comes back, actually. I'll make him happy. I'll wait until he comes back. I have a point I'll make afterwards. Before I do, Bob, I'm right? This is a Dave 5, am I correct in saying?
No, I need to see, because it says in what we're told was the best match on the show, 3 3/4, Rey Mysterio captured the WWE World Welterweight title from Psychosis in 1839 via third fall submission.
Whoa.
Is this one he saw later?
3 3/4?
But he said what we were told.
Let me see.
I'm pretty sure this was like a Dave.
On Cage Match, this says it has a 5.
This is like a famous Dave one, right? I don't know. I mean, this man, one of those ones where he saw it 2 years later, Bob, to be fair to you.
Yeah.
Tough to find these things.
Okay,
so, ironically, right, Bob, he gave it the Noah Global Tag League treatment, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Heard it was good.
I do like, when he does the, like, what we were told, for the longest time, I assumed there was, like, hundreds of people cluing him in on these things. Then I eventually realized that, like, we could just get Bob to, like, send him an email. And he just
people will send him emails from the arena.
But it can just be one person, though.
Yeah, he still asks for them. Like, he'll just tweet it.
I'll be preparing for... We love Dave, but this is funny. I'll be preparing for Full Sail Behind, and he'll write about, like, the Largo house show. And he'll be like, Liv Morgan had one with... Carmella, apparently this was pretty good. And I read it and I go, that's just JJ. JJ probably just told him. Who else would be fucking telling him this from Largo, Nonetheless, I thought this was a big Dave spectacle.
Let me see if I can find the actual review.
All good, I know there's a lot of moving pieces here. Well, the Oracle Wrestling's not here. I'll say it again when he comes back. Donny, this is more a lucha title match with the mat work and such.
Yeah.
As opposed to some of the more extreme stylings that are more obviously spotlighted or at least emphasized, I should say, in Philly. This is more of a lucha title match. John, that one's for you, mate. Donny, have you seen this one?
Yes, I have. Only once, but I have seen it. This match is great. I'm glad that you pointed that out because I think Ray, in a weird way, is in that like Darby Allin camp of like, people don't think that he can actually just like straight up wrestle, which is really weird for a guy who's been wrestling for nearly 4 decades. But Rey Mysterio can actually just straight up wrestle, which is cool because a lot of his highest rated stuff isn't that. Obviously, I understand why a lot of his highest rated stuff isn't that for me. But yeah, this match is great. Psychosis again is another one who almost feels kind of lost in the Ray story, not in the sense of as a rival, but in the sense of how good he was in comparison to Ray. If that makes, like he's so fucking good in these matches, and this is no exception. I mean, it is. Oracle's back.
Hello, Oracle.
I've returned. I've gotten a soda and I have returned.
Good, excellent news. Thank you, Oracle.
But yeah, this is it's kind of like what was mentioned with the Santo match, and that like there is a lot of mat work, and so it's interesting to see Ray kind of wrestle in this like figuring out the puzzle way of like trying to figure out how to evade Psychosis, trying to figure out how to combat him. And then obviously that leads to what you would expect, which is the big fireworks and the dives and all stuff, because these guys are incredible at that too. But I've always appreciated that for a 2 out of 3 falls match, it takes the opportunity for each fall to be different, right? I think a lot of 2 out of 3 falls matches can either be really go, or more of like the same. This match kind of feels like 3 different matches that all work in unison to paint the full picture, which I think is always been my favorite part of this match. And again, Rey's incredible in it. Psychosis and Rey have some of the best chemistry you'll ever find. So, yeah.
The Oracle of Wrestling, I was saying, I learned from the School of Wrestling. This particular Psychosis match from September 22nd, 95, for anyone who missed it, is more of a lucha title match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the lucha title match, of course, is a lot more mat-based, right? A lot more mat work. Really worked around a lot more rhythm. Might be the word you would use.
Yeah.
Kind of much more of a traditional match in a lot of ways, but also first falls basically mat work. A lot of times the second fall's a quick win, and then third fall's big on balls to the wall. Crazy dives and big near falls and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, this is just another one of their, another notch in their rivalry. Great match, great feud.
Oracle, would you agree that the lucha title match is maybe the most accessible style of lucha libre?
I think the lucha brawl probably is.
Okay.
But the title match is, I think, up there. I think the least accessible is probably the trios, depending on who's in the match and how it's worked.
Yes, that can be challenging, yes.
Yes. But, I mean, the lucha title match is basically, I mean, it's really a very traditional type match. Basically a very traditional 2 out of 3 falls match. I do think it's very accessible. But brawls, I kind of think, depending on how wild and bloody they are, I think they're actually a bit more accessible. But
because they're more like dudes rock, right?
You just kinda, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The camera work in this match, by the way, is fucking phenomenal. The
Yeah.
camera work in this match is really good.
Tremendous.
Especially for 1995.
Tremendous stuff. And it's interesting, like, I don't know, I mean, this is an interesting generational thing. Like, I'd imagine to John Burr, rightly, to be clear, I'm not doing a bit here, Rey and Psych are forever paired.
Mm-hmm.
To a young person, Donald, would you say, like, to young people, Psychosis is just like a guy that Rey once wrestled a bunch of times?
Yeah, because I don't, like, he's not brought up a lot in terms of, like, the canonized lore of Rey Mysterio. Psychosis
Which is crazy
is
because he's a huge part of the lore.
Yeah, like, him and Hoovy are, of course, but, like, you know how they are, dude. Like, Rey's been in a, like, they just don't canonize that stuff. Like, I'm trying to think, honestly, outside of, I guess it would be for, like, my generation, Eddie and Kurt, right? Would be the Rey Mysterio rivals, right? At least that's what for people that in my age range, like that, like for me, because I have people in my life that like recommend me this stuff, so I get to be aware of like Psychosis and Hoovy and all that. But like to people growing up in my age bracket, it would be like Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle would be the main Rey Mysterio foes.
It's just they're so like they're doing these matches like literally together, like specifically being brought in as a touring match.
This is some of they're one of the most revolutionary pairings of all time. Like a lot of the work that we see is commonplace now. It's because of guys like Rey and Psych and their work together.
Dude, Oracle, you may remember this. Do you remember the Pro Wrestling Only story you and I talked about before, where one of the guys on that forum, like Psych and Rey both wanted his shirt, his jersey. Do you remember this story? And they were like, you could have one of our masks and for a trade. And I can't remember who it was, so I apologize. You may know who this person is on Pro Wrestling Only. But they picked Psych and was like, I definitely made the wrong decision in terms of value. Like, they traded jersey.
I vaguely remember this story.
Yeah, we talked about it years ago. Like, it popped us. Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. Absolutely insane. Well, here's what I know. whether or not the young folk are aware of how important Psychosis is to the Rey story, the Grinners are, because in at 7 we're sticking with Psychosis.
Yeah, baby.
Taped on October 7th, 95 at the ECW Arena. This aired on October 17th. This is 2 out of 3 falls. This Oracle is the one that you were like in love with when we did Historical Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This match is fucking insane. And
So good.
I think also is like, legitimately, if you were going to pick, to me, this is why I wasn't surprised with Bash to the Beach. I think Bash to the Beach is great. I do prefer this because the vibes, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's an incredible piece of business. Oracle, let's get extreme, bro. Let's talk about it. This is crazy.
This is the September one, right?
This is the 2 out of 3 falls rematch
October.
from October. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This match is fucking. Wow. Yeah. Like this was actually like they talk about the When Worlds Collide show, which did good business, right? And whatnot. But this was the first, like, someone who has family who were watching at the time. This was like this series of matches, Psychosis matches, and then the Hoovy matches later. But these early Psychosis matches in late '95, the ECW tapes and stuff. Man, they fucking talking about making an impression. These are maybe the most impressionable matches ever. Like in terms of like, hey, this is what I can do. Watch. I'm not sure we've ever seen anything that good like ever again. And like, there's a lot of
I agree. Yeah.
There's a lot of like make a great impression feuds like Danielson and Key and shit like that, right? Like, and they were excellent, right? Towards the very, towards the last, years of the tape trading.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like, everybody saw this. The Fed saw this. WCW saw this. Everybody saw it and was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is where wrestling's going. We need to get these guys. Yeah. And, Bischoff saw that first in terms of, keeping them long term. And I mean, yeah, this match in particular is my favorite of theirs. Spectacular spots, crazy, rabid, typical Philly crowd. Just awesome match. One of my all-time favorite Rey matches, for sure.
It's incredible. I think it can't be overstated. It's 30 plus years ago, and it still feels truly dangerous and like staggering physically. Like
right. Yep.
Most matches that lean on innovation actually age worse as a result because what they did becomes the norm. This still feels insane, actually.
Yes,
a lot of the stuff they do is still like, what the fuck that just happened? It's absolutely incredible. And it also, they use like the tables and stuff, but it kind of feels organic and natural.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's an urgency to it. There's not a lot of downtime setting stuff up, which I think is hard to do, especially if you're putting time in like this. So, Donny, this is pretty epic, isn't it?
Yeah, this just missed my top 5. This is my number 6. It was so hard between this and what I had at 5, but this is my favorite match of theirs. This match is just, I mean, to me, this is the most heated of their matches in the sense of it actually feels like the hatred is so palpable here, especially in that second fall when Psychosis gets really mean and really nasty and tries to leave the aerial stuff to the side and just really starts to beat the shit out of this poor young Rey Mysterio, who I think was, to me, by this point, these guys had wrestled so many times all over the world, and it feels like Psychosis carries that resentment of like, holy fuck, this guy's literally followed me everywhere, and I just can't get rid of him like a cockroach. Like I have to just squash him and beat him up. And honestly, especially nowadays with the way they age, the ECW crowds can be kind of hard to allow me to fully invest in their matches, just because I think sometimes it becomes a little bit too much about them than the actual work. This is one where I think their sort of rabid animal mentality really fits, because it feels like they are aware of what they're watching. Because, like sometimes you watch something and you realize like, oh shit, this is really special. Right. Like we're in the midst of something that we may never see again or may never be done to this level. And it feels like this crowd understands that more than most ECW crowds did in its existence. So I think this match is just brilliant. And again, not long at all, which is to its benefit because it really just feels like two guys who are at wits end with each other. And even Rey, for his standards, gets really mean by the third fall. You know, obviously you mentioned Joe the tables, but there's some chair stuff in here too that feels
That was
really
a big
natural and
part
organic.
of their matches was like when they would get mad at each other. That was like a big part
Yeah.
of their.
And
Like,
we
the
get
stuff
really
that gets
physical.
the stuff that gets gift is the high spots, but there's a lot of like them just getting petulant with each other and shit,
Yeah.
which really helps their matches. Yeah.
Really gritty and physical and ugly, and it's really cool to see this sort of like, again, how they treat each fall differently, right? From fall to fall, it's a different approach, a different mentality. And that third fall, dude, is just, I mean, you have to watch the way the camera like shakes on everything they do when they're teasing high spots, when Ray's making comebacks, when Ray's introducing chairs, and it's legit just like at a fever pitch the whole time. And again, this match happened on fucking television, dude. Like, that's fucking wild. It's an unbelievable match. Kind of hurt me not to put in my top 5, but the match I had at 5, I think it's just so fucking good that I couldn't. But this match is unbelievable. Another one of those that if you said this is the best match of either guy's career, I wouldn't argue you. This match is unbelievable.
Bob, this is a real piece of history. If you were going to tell the story of, you know, wrestling in the States and the evolution of it, I think this match would be the one you'd pick to showcase this, what's about to happen, which Oracle mentioned. How much did Dave capture that at the time? It's a very difficult thing to nail at the time, so I don't put a lot of pressure on it, but I'm intrigued.
Kind of just read through this here because it is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'd give it 4 3/4. It was a better match for Philadelphia than the Mexico City or Tijuana matches would have been. However, the Mexico City and Tijuana matches were better for their city. Mexico City was technically the best match of the 3 so far as actual wrestling and psychology. Tijuana was the most amazing performance. Philadelphia, great dives and brawling, but no mat wrestling and less psychology. But the fans want constant action, so they adjusted to their style for the audience they're playing to. Philadelphia also had the advantage of having Joey Styles call the match. He's able to get wrestlers with a different style over in one match. Something WCW can't do with wrestlers every bit as good if they put them on television every week for a year. All 3 matches were fantastic, and they were 3 entirely different matches done in a 3-week period. Actually, one person told me that they had a match in Mexicali that went 4 falls, and that was the best of all of them. So there's some really good stuff there from Dave mixed in with, you know,
some
his other stuff.
Joey
Some Dave-isms.
Yeah.
Joey Styles.
Interesting. It's a hard thing, and to be fair, we kid, but it's impossible to like fully nail it in fucking immediate response, right? Yeah, interesting. This does bring an end to Psychosis part in our list, and I do think it's worth saying that, like, dude, he has 3 matches in the top 10, and whether you think it should be more or less, if you got to consider that people only have 5 slots. So most people just pick one psych match, one Hoovy match, one whoever, you know, Eddie match. So it does give you perspective on, like, whatever we said earlier about what we think the canonized history is. A lot of people are still watching this shit because they still,
as they should,
still split the votes. This is actually the exact same amount of votes as the AAA match, so it just had less higher place ballots. So yeah, pretty neat. Pretty damn neat. Corey Dave's been a member for 20 months and says, what's your thoughts on Dave Meltzer's 4-star general, Kendall Gray? Dave's restarting an agenda. It's interesting you ask, Corey. I will not comment on this until Dave watches the Neo Global Tag League final because he heard it was very good. Surely he'll get to it any minute. He actually said shockingly good, actually, is what he said.
He did?
Yep, and said that Gallows and Anderson had, quote, their working boots on. So I'll wait for him. And I'll circle back. In the meantime, Donny, what do you make of Kendall Gray?
I like her.
Good. Bob? Yeah. Yep, he likes her, definitely. Oracle, have you seen any of this Kendall Gray stuff?
Yeah, I saw the one Colin Jordan match that was like 3 stars or whatever.
There it is.
Apparently, there are a couple others that are apparently outstanding, but I'm sure they're just the same match. To be honest with you, I think she's very talented. She's very athletic and has some potential. But I don't know. She's just she's fun to watch. She can do some pretty impressive things in the ring in terms of athleticism, but it's not really my thing.
There you go. Thank you, everyone. That was a great effort. Thank you, Corey, for being a member. we'll review in an hour or so Jada and Natalia, so hold tight. We'll not, but yeah. Right, spectacle controversial. I'm scared about this next one. I'm scared. I'm nervous.
Oh no.
Because I don't know how I feel about this, because it's a match I love, but I worry this is one of those deals where this is going to be so high that it's going to hurt the match.
This is 6, right?
This is number 6, yeah.
Oh no.
April 1st, 2023, WrestleMania 39.
Yeah.
Rey and Dirty Dom. Now, I'm scared by this because I love this match. I love this angle. When I was doing the mathematics on this, I went, fucking hell, that's high. That feels really high. I don't know. It's great, but I will admit I had an immediate raw reaction of, Jesus, that feels scary. Oracle is my fear too extreme. What do we think? I love the Dom match. I was scared by it being in at number 6. What do you think? Is this a fair? Where do you stand on this? I do love the match. I want to be clear. I love the match.
I do not think it is number 6. It is way too high. I would have been very happy with it, 11 to 15.
Which is, okay, that's pretty good endorsement, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love this match. I enjoy it. One of my all-time favorite feuds in WWE. The build to it is awesome. The entrances are great. Dom gets his ass beat. Rey gets a great sort of Hall of Fame moment there. It's a very fun match and a very good match, but it's not like an elite level like Rey Jr. match,
right,
which we have many of.
But, and our friend Jake in the chat mentioned him at his top 5, trying to encapsulate his whole career. MPJ fairly says the match is more like a celebration of Rey and his career. And also, if you're a fan, and if you're watching this, it's very possible, this program, that like the WWE boom that we just had was a big deal for you. This is like the match, isn't it, for Rey?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was built so well, which matters. Like, Bob, what was you going to say, man?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, it is a little high, but it's also like a guy who never had a WrestleMania moment, if that matters, had one at the greatest WrestleMania ever. And like,
Wow.
people remember it fondly. And yeah, I think it is probably high, but like,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. He is, and he's, you know what, the more I talk about it, the more I'm not, I mean, he's wrestling's son, isn't he? I mean, it's pretty fucking cool, isn't it, really? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat deal. Enough about where it came in. Let's talk about the match itself. Donny, this is a blast. Very, very fun.
Yeah, I actually had this 4th. This match to me is just so much fucking fun. I remember watching WrestleMania 39 with my friends. Like it was like a big deal for us that like WWE was good again. And so we all watched this together. And I just remember hootering and hollering with my friends. I hadn't seen them in a while. And I just remember how much fun this was. The spot where he fucking spanks Dom with his belt is unbelievably funny. I just think this entire feud and this match, I think for what they were going for, I actually don't think they could have done it any better. I think this is the perfect, like, son gets his comeuppance by his dad. Like, it's just such a perfectly stupid fucking because it's such a stupid thing. Like, this grown-ass man made a decision for himself, and his dad is mad about it. And his son has been, like, bullying his fucking dad, who's twice his age, for a year, to the point where his dad had to move shows and threatened to retire. And then the big angle was that he punched him in the face. Like, that was so
awesome. Yeah,
dude,
so good.
When he antagonizes his mother, and Ray's like, all right, I've had enough of this shit. I'm gonna fucking sit you on your ass.
Dude, the one Maria and Dom crash Thanksgiving is my favorite.
Yes,
Yes.
And the entrances in this match. Dom went to jail in kayfabe for like half an hour or whatever the fuck, and he shows up with a full-on police escort and a fucking mask. Rey shows up with Snoop Dogg and an Eddie Lowrider, like in Los Angeles. Like, it's such a cool piece of history that, like, when we look back on Rey Mysterio's career in like 10, 15, 20 years, assuming he's not wrestling somehow when he's fucking 72, which he might for all I know, like, how cool is it that, like, he got to wrestle his son at WrestleMania in California, and it's just like this really fun encapsulation. It honestly is in a weird way, like the most heroic Rey's ever felt. Like, him just standing
entrance is fucking cool too.
Oh, dude, It's so cool. It's like Rey Mysterio is wrestling on behalf of all of the disgruntled dads in the world. What a weird fucking thing. Like, it's just so cool. I don't know, man. This match is awesome, dude. I'm really glad they got to have this match. And for whatever you want to say about Dom, he is unbelievable in this match. Just what an absolute. I mean, he gets the shit kicked out of him by Bad Bunny, which doesn't get to. Bad Bunny's involved in this. Like, it's just such a cool thing.
And again, it's one of those matches, and this what makes these lists kind of a fun exercise. It's a singular one, right? Which is it's hard to compare this with. I mean, literally in Bob's read of Dave's gimmick about the psych match, it's like legitimately they had 100 matches in like a month that Dave was saying were great. Like, it's hard to compare those two things, so it's just a loose overview. But Oracle, you and I we were in love with this at the time, this feud, weren't we?
Oh man, it's so good, man. It's so fucking good. Just like, I don't know, man. The one where I can never get like into a whole like real TV or like fucking, whatever. What is it?
MTV.
Yeah, MTV or no, real life, whatever the hell it is. They do like a whole thing where like Dom and Rhea like fucking crash Thanksgiving, and it's like the funniest thing ever. Or, it's Thanksgiving, isn't it? Or
no, they do both. They crash both.
Both.
He comes back when because Ray gets injured. Remember, like the whole thing is that he like tries to take out his crutch at his house, like fucks up his leg.
That's right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
I also loved speaking of Conan, when he was doing the Hall of Fame speech and he cut a promo on Dom, and then Dom and Rhea left.
Dude, that was an all-time great Hall of Fame induction speech. Like,
oh yeah,
he killed that speech, bro. That was fucking awesome. Yeah, that was a cool time. Very cool.
Absolutely, yeah. One of my all-time favorite feuds. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it kind of talked me into it. I like it, actually. I'm with it. I'm so scared. When I was doing it, I was like, Jesus, it beat all of the Psychosis matches. I was like, fuck. Felt like a lot, but it is awesome, so fuck it. We roll with it. Bobby, this feels like a match that Dave liked a lot and said that would be a nice 3 3/4, please. Right? What do you reckon?
4.
Oh yeah. There we
well
go.
done, Dave.
Yeah, just right there with Jada and Natalia. What do you say?
He just did a match recap. I mean, it was a busy weekend for him, but
Fucking right it was. I don't know how he does it.
Like the entrances, all that stuff. I should have had this in my top 5, I think.
There you go. Okay,
I want to rewatch it now that we talked about it.
It is very rewatchable, which I do think Ray is one of the most rewatchable wrestlers ever.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
There are very few Ray epics where it's like, I don't know if I'm rushing to rewatch it because it's a bit bloated or whatever. Like, it's incredible stuff. We're going back extreme, folks. We're going. In fact, I always thought that the name of the Big Ass Extreme Bash always popped me. The idea of earnestly having to buy that tape and just live with it is just glorious to me. Let alone the material on it, but enough about Alex. March 9th, 1996, 2 out of 3 falls. Hoovy re-enters the picture here. This is the match most famous for where they go out beside the building and do the spot on the car.
Right,
yes.
Okay.
This is
Queens, right?
I'm not sure. I just remember the car spot. But what I do know is this is, to me, more so than even the matches we talked about. This one I remember is like an outright spot fest shootout. Fucking like every possible thing they got, including the spot we just mentioned, which obviously is absolutely insane. We talked about Hoover a little bit earlier. He's back in the fold here. Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get extreme again, brother. What you saying?
Yeah, this is my favorite Hoovy match with Ray. Other than maybe like one of their AAA matches from like not the '96 one that we talked about, but maybe the '94 one, maybe.
Okay.
Like November '94, I think.
Let me see if that got any votes. I'll check. Carry on, mate. I'll check for you.
But this is my favorite stateside at least. Much more spot fest, like, you know what I mean? But like in the psych matches, I prefer the psychology of the psych matches a little bit more. But in terms of like exciting, holy shit spots, this is way up there in Ray's catalog. And this was, we've talked about it several times already tonight. But great feud, and this is my favorite of theirs. In the States at least.
I'm just looking here. The other Hoovy matches that got votes that didn't make it were April 21st, 95, and June 16th, 95. So no 94 made it for that regard, but 4 Hoovy matches got votes. These 2 made the actual list. And then at 5 here was March 9th, 96. Donny, this one you're familiar with, mate?
Yeah, I for a minute it took me a bit to remember. And then you mentioned the spot outside, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the one, because that's just like such a cool visual. Them just outside in the crowd, like chasing after them to see what's going on. Yeah, this is really fun. I don't know if I'd have it this high personally, just because it feels like, again, it's a great match, but it does suffer from that, like, again, they've wrestled so many times, it's kind of hard to differentiate after a while. But at least this one has the really cool visual of them outside, which is always fun. Yeah. It's just a really fun spot fest. They do a lot of cool dives, a lot of cool flips, and a lot of things that even still now to this day, having seen Rey wrestle for so long, kind of feels like, holy shit, he might be able to do that now, which is weird to say for a guy who's 52 years old or whatever he is now. So, but yeah, this match is just a lot of fun. Again, not my favorite Rey ECW match. We already talked about it, the one with Psychosis earlier. Yeah. But again, I'm glad that this did make the list, because again, it is also really different to some of the matches that we just talked about, because some of those are, the Dom match is very like sports entertainment-esque. The Psychosis match are more structured and laid out in a specific way. This is more just like balls to the wall action. It's like it's a sprint in that regard, even if it's not like super short, it's not long enough either. So it kind of has that happy middle ground. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Really fun.
It's awesome. I'm with you. I actually do prefer the Psychosis ECW match we covered earlier, but it is awesome. A lot of fun. We've already talked about Hoovy probably deserves a lot more love historically.
Yeah, he's
rather than just being, quote, the juice. Bobby, what did Dave say at the time, mate?
Praise the work. Thought both guys did a really good job. 4 1/4.
4 1/4.
All right.
There you go. Beautiful. Right. Number 4 coming up, folks. If you haven't liked the stream already, please do. Bob, we're about to enter your territory. We're about to get ruthless aggression. Bob O'Neill stepping up to the plate here. October 20th, 2002. No Mercy. Vacant tag titles hanging in the balance. This is a famous match. This was the match of the year in the Observer, right?
That sounds right.
I think this was like Dave's, the voters, the readers. Edge and Rey opposite Benoit and Angle. And this is one, I actually was talking to Eve about this week, because I rewatched it to make sure I was like off. I think this match is awesome. My one thing that thankfully Ibu's as weird as me and agrees with me on is like, I've never seen this as being like as clear as a lot of the TV stuff. Like, I think they're all on a similar level. To me, a lot of it is. Whereas for most people, this is like the clear fucking cut match. Like, I like a lot of the TV stuff just as much, to be honest with you, because I think a lot of that stuff's tighter. But obviously, it's fucking awesome. The second half in particular is insane. They do double heat. And I think the biggest thing to stress here, and Bobby, I'll go to you first before you even get to Dave's thoughts. Like, it's one I'm sure you've seen a million times. I also think it is important we stress that this was a tag title match that went over 20 minutes and had, like, the framework and treatment of a main event match, which is absolutely part of the appeal, right, in a WWE such as this, right, Bobby?
Yeah, it was the first, for the first inaugural SmackDown tag titles. So, they had to close it out with a bang. They had the Angle and Benoit tag team, which was kind of running through the tournament. And, they definitely treated it like a big deal. I think it's the first SmackDown pay-per-view as well, because after SummerSlam, they split back up. So, it kind of showed what the focus is going to be over there. And that whole tag title tournament kind of rules just the whole thing through, like you said. As for this match, like, I'm kind of with you, but I think they got a lot of good stuff in 2002 where this, like, maybe wouldn't even make my top 5 of the year. So it's like, it's good. I don't think it's even the best match on this show, to be honest with you.
I don't either, actually. Yeah.
So it's just like, I like it. It's obviously very good, but I'm kind of with you. I've never had like the deep attachment to it.
Like, it's awesome, but I do feel like it kind of represents the entire like movement and era of the SmackDown 6 for a lot of people. And I do think it gets a little bit, and let's be clear, this isn't a hindsight thing, because this was treated as like a godly match at the time, so maybe we're just stopped. But it's very, very good, isn't it, Oracle? Very, very good.
It is, So this match had a particular level of lore to it when I was a kid. I've mentioned many, many times, I didn't have SmackDown when I was a kid. It had been air on another local station late on Saturdays, but the time would change. And so this match in particular, and this show in particular, had lore to it for me as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing about it from my older brother and stuff, and like, so it was always like a match that was the defining sort of match of the SmackDown 6 era. When I watched a lot of SmackDown 6 stuff off and on over the course of the last 25 years now, my God. I mean, the 2 out of 3 falls match they have in November is just as good. I mean, you know, like it's and the match is awesome. I mean, it's a 4+ star match, whatever. But it's just, I am not surprised that it's as high as it is. I'm actually fine with the ranking because it is such a well loved match. But yeah, I mean, they all kind of run together. There's about 15 matches or so that all sort of run together from the SmackDown 6 era to me. That all kind of ends with Angle and Benoit Rumble 03. But great match. Really good ebbs and flows to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, just a great match. I'd have to watch the show in full. I can't remember. At one point, I may have had this show.
Oh wow.
Many years ago. I don't know. Maybe I did. I can't remember if I bought it or not recently in the recent years where I went crazy and bought a bunch of stuff. But I'd have to rewatch the show to determine if I thought it was better or less than Brock and Taker in the Cell. But both matches I definitely like a lot, and this match in particular is a match that I do enjoy quite a bit.
And it is worth stressing that when we say we think the Cell match is better, that is an indication this is not that good. The Cell match is like insane. And it's an incredible match.
Ridiculous.
I mean, Paul Heyman blades in that match.
Yeah, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Donny.
Yeah.
What are you saying, mate? No Mercy tag.
Yeah, this is I think this is awesome. I didn't have it in my top 5, but I probably would have it in like the top 15 somewhere. I do think this is really great. I think it being on pay-per-view kind of helps its legacy a bit.
For sure.
Weirdly enough, like I just think people are quick to dismiss television stuff because there's not as much time allotted, or it's
no longer streaming.
Yeah, like you can't find it anywhere. This is literally just like readily accessible. But I think this match is great. Particularly, I like the beginning stuff with Rey and Kurt, where like Kurt's trying to humiliate, like he's trying to out wrestle Rey on the mat because he's an Olympic gold medalist, and Rey just kind of is like, dude, I know how to wrestle. And Kurt gets all angry and stuff. That stuff is always really fun and cute. I think the heat on Edge is good, great even. Edge in 02, listen, people have their fun with Mr. Copeland these days, but Edge was sincerely pretty fucking awesome in 2002. Just as big a part of the SmackDown 6 as anybody. And I think he's particularly really good in this match. I think the reason that this didn't stand out to me as like something I would have is it weirdly doesn't feel like a Rey match, as opposed to like, it just feels like an encapsulation of a time period. So like all the guys, this is like everyone's match, right? Where like a lot of the matches that we've already talked about are like, you can specifically point out why Rey Mysterio was really good in this match. Rey Mysterio is really good in this match, but it's not for any special reason other than he's Rey Mysterio and he's really good at wrestling. Right. This isn't his match, which is probably why it didn't immediately come to mind for me. And also because like what you guys said, the television stuff really is like so much of that TV stuff to me still holds up as some of the best television work the company's ever had. So again, great match, would be somewhere in my top 15, but I wouldn't have it this high in particular. But again, great match. Great match.
I do want to just say this before I throw back the Bob to what Dave said, because I know this was a huge hit with that audience, which is fine, and I get it's awesome. It is fucking insane. It isn't lost media because it's out there and you can get it if you really want it, but it is insane that we have just returned to a time where people can't access the TV stuff when they want it. Like, the fact that's a thing that they've just been able to get off, and the response is, nah, bro, I got the vault, and it's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, what are you... Genuinely, I'm not trying to be a dick here, okay? The thing about the TV we're talking about right now, the Vault are never uploading any of these episodes.
No.
For obvious reasons we don't need to get into.
Right.
It's like, how is that a thing that's just been accepted as like,
Hey.
yeah, I guess it's just gone. You know?
Just remember, they're all on Peacock through the 2020s, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I mean, I'm just, it's insane to me. Absolutely insane. Nonetheless, Bobby, what did Dave say about No Mercy at the time, mate?
Yeah, I mean, he was obviously very high on the show in general. He loved this match, said that he started with, hold on. Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit became the first WWE Tag Champions. Well, that's what they said over Rey Mysterio and Edge in 2203. Then Michael Cole talked about Edge being an 8-time WWE Tag Champion after moments earlier saying this would determine the first champions. I'm getting a headache. Luckily, this match was better than any medicine as it was off the charts. And he does a match review.
Awesome.
That's
And he does a
incredible.
match review, and he calls it Match of the Year candidate and gives it 4 3/4. And yeah, it was the Observer's 2002 Match of the Year.
That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Dave.
That rocks. So
Better
what was
than
the
any
other,
medicine.
what would have been the other big like observer voted matches for O2? Do we know what would have been the other? Because it's a bit of a weird year. Like obviously they've just all these promotions.
Good
You know,
question. Let me.
yeah, America's changed. I'll give you a minute there, Bob. I'll go to the next thing, and then if you have
Let me
it
see.
later, we'll go back to it. All right?
What
Yeah.
would have been happening in 02?
Yep.
Well, Pispiro, like I'm trying to think what
Was
would happen.
Did Danielson and Low Key have their like? Or was that 03? Was that March of 03? The like.
But that
big-
also wouldn't have been like that. At this point, that wouldn't be the like observer voted stuff. I don't think.
okay.
Yeah. Like now, Hogan Rock is the most famous O2 match, but that wouldn't have been like for that audience. at the
No,
time.
that wouldn't have.
I do think it was still popular. Definitely was popular, but it wouldn't have been like the match of the year conversation at the time.
Not
Which
Shawn.
I actually think in history is like it absolutely is a fair candidate.
Sean
I
and
think.
Trips from SummerSlam.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Maybe it might have been something on that show. I
Yeah.
don't remember what.
I'm trying to remember what's going on in Japan. Memory's failing me, but
Let's see. Tenryu
Yes.
against Kojima is number 2.
okay, fair.
Triple H and
Tenryu.
Shawn.
What a beast.
Muto and Kawada. Danielson and Loki is 5.
There you go, Donny.
Yeah.
Misawa and Kobayashi against Akiyama and Jun Nagata. What do we got? Spanky versus Loki versus Daniels versus Doug Williams.
It shows you how thin it was. That stuff was already bleeding into the top 10. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah.
Spanky.
All Japan kind of kicked out there, bro. Beasting.
Then what happened?
Well, I mean, it's apparently it's back. Apparently it's had a good year. I'm ready to watch them.
Did Ibu tell you that?
He did, but apparently it's a real thing. Apparently.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, let me interrupt this and see if Joe can read my mind, and we'll talk about it when we finish up. Are the 3 matches that I'm thinking of the final 3 matches here?
I
The
know.
game is if Joe can think of.
Yes, I'm convinced you've definitely got 2 of them. The next
Okay.
one, we'll see. I presume you do, but we'll see. We'll find out right now. In fact, we did stress this, and I actually want to notice now. The top end of this list, honestly, was less interesting me than the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Because but we'll get into number
Yeah.
3 here. August 25th, 2002, SummerSlam. Yeah. Okay. Good. Kurt Angle and Ray in one of the more famed openers in WWE history. I don't think they even go 10 minutes. This is Ray's first pay-per-view match in the company, and even in defeat, it serves as a bit of a showcase. It's what I find most remarkable about this match is it's a sprint and it's all action, but they still get enough heat in there that when Ray hits the dive in the second half, the people are so ready for him to win. Like, he doesn't just wow them, he like genuinely gets them on side and wins their heart. It's really a pretty impressive piece of business for its runtime. Oracle, this is what you were thinking, all right?
It was. And I think this is the second best opener in WWE history. The first one I still think is Bret Owen from 10.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
those are the 2 best in history of the company, and this is number 2. And I mean, wow. Just an absolutely incredible match. I'll never forget watching this match live as a kid, watching SummerSlam in the living room just down the hall 24 years ago now. Wow. Just an absolutely incredible match. One of my favorite Kurt Angle performances. Kurt is great here. Ray, of course, is just it was a really important match for him to have because he'd been. I mean, he got up really well. He had a very fun match with Chavo in his opener in WWE, and the dive off the cage solidified him, right? But this match was so important for him, and just an incredible piece of business. One of the great openers in the history of pay-per-view wrestling.
I definitely agree. And Kurt Angle is, Donny mentioned it earlier. He is a great Ray opponent. They have a lot of good stuff, and I love their match in Japan on TV. That match is awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a terrific match.
Excellent match. Their January 03 match is tremendous too.
Yeah, they had really good chemistry, and I actually think Ray might be my favorite Kurt opponent. Actually,
I think I'd agree.
Because he forces Kurt to just be an outright bully, which is the best version of Kurt.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Bobby, I want you to do two things. I want you to lead with Dave's review, and then I want you to give us your review. Does that work?
Yes. Dave said they clicked in a tremendous opener. Praised the dive and all the other stuff in West Coast Pop 619, and then the finish. Only gave it 3 3/4 though, which I'm a little surprised by, but that's fair. I mean, it's a great match. It's the opener of perhaps the best WWF pay-per-view of all time. That counts for something. And it's such a great way to kind of establish what SmackDown's going to be too. And they did it, and it just, we kind of talked about it when we discussed the last match we did. Like, they set the tone there, and you see back-to-back appearances with Angle and Ray in there. Just kind of keep going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Tremendous happening, Donny.
I had this for. Yeah.
There you go. You're pretty close. Donny, what do you reckon, mate? In on this at 3? What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I'm perfectly okay with this. I think this is the best match on, like Bob said, maybe the best WWF pay-per-view ever. This match is unbelievable. I love using the phrase maximize your minutes, which feels very disparaging, but legit, these guys got 9 minutes, and you couldn't have asked for them to do more in these 9 minutes. They throw everything and then some, and it all makes perfect sense. Again, Joe, like you said, the way the crowd starts to come alive, not just to see Ray come back, but to see him win, how desperately they want him to win this match and overcome this giant bully who's just suplexing him around and wrestling him to the ground and locking in submissions and seemingly having him in no man's land is an unbelievable thing. And Kurt is this is the Kurt Angle that he's become a very divisive wrestler in terms of his work and his approach to things in recent years. But this is where he's at his absolute best as a wrestler. He's so mean, but he's also so smug about it. And what you really hate is that, given the stature of both guys, you kind of start to think man, Ray just can't do anything. How is he supposed to figure this guy out? He can't out wrestle him. He can't out grapple him. He's not going to be able to out submission him, if you will. And so what does he rely on? He relies on his heart. He relies on his speed, his swiftness. And it's a perfect styles clash in that regard. And I think for what they set out to do, this match is perfect in that sense. And it's one of the best openers in wrestling history, never mind just WWE history. So yeah, in at 3, I'm pretty happy with this placement. Great match. Excellent match.
I am too, folks. We're sticking in WWE for our 2 seed, June 28th, 2009. The Bash. Bobby, what was the deal with the Bash? Why did they what was that? What was up with that? Did they not like Great American Bash anymore? What was the...
Yeah, I don't know. I was not watching anymore by then, so I actually have only just seen this match recently.
The Bash. Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio. This is a famous feud. This is the signature match of that feud. Title versus mask. IC title hanging in the balance. This is an interesting kind of piece of history because a decade prior, these are two of the guys that are they're the definitive WCW underneath guys that are being held down, right? In a lot of people's minds. It's so funny that 10 years later they're having an IC title match on second and just totally fucking tearing it up. I saw this match recently with Ebu and Co, and then I rewatched it this week because I just wanted to kind of see where I stood in it. This match is unbelievable. I completely get why it's here. It was distant, too, in terms of how far it was ahead of number 3. I think understandably so. Donny, what do you reckon? The Bash, you in or you out?
No, I mean, I think this is the best singles match of Jericho's entire career. I actually think this is. I know people really love the Shawn stuff, and I think a lot of the Shawn stuff is great. I think this is honestly the best work of Jericho's career, period, this feud. I think he is unbelievable in this stretch, and I think Rey, for what Jericho set out to be during this stretch, I don't think there was anybody better to opposite that than Rey Mysterio. Just the perfect baby face. His selling in this match is tremendous, and Jericho is legitimately stiffing the fuck out of him. I mean, just grinding him down, making him work for the adulation of the audience. And it's just such a sight to see because, again, in 2009 WWE, this feels like such a dissimilar match to anything they were putting on at the time. It feels so far removed from what their ideology of wrestling was during this period that it only further stands out the more removed we get from it. I also rewatched this match earlier this week just to kind of freshen my memory. And I mean, this wasn't close to what I had at number one, but if there was anything that was going to combat my top two, this would be the one. I just think Jericho has never been better than he was on this night, which is saying a lot because Rey Mysterio was pretty damn special in this match. But Jericho, I think my issues with Jericho always stem from how over the top he can be sometimes with kind of his mannerisms and the way he carries himself, especially when he's a heel. He can be really a lot to deal with. I think he's the perfect blend of kind of cold, but also he gets really desperate when Rey starts to battle back and becomes a real coward by the end when Rey's just fighting for his, not just the title, but for his mask. And Rey carries that legacy with him so well throughout. And the crowd, it's a weird crowd, right? Because at first they don't really, they've grown to like Jericho because they really like the Shawn stuff. So it's not a full Mysterio crowd.
There's some Rey fatigue too.
Yeah,
it's been there for a few years at this point. Yeah.
So it's a really weird crowd. But by the end, I mean, I don't want to fully get maybe a stretch, but it's very clearly a pro Rey crowd by the end. And it's a testament to both guys and how they work the match. And again, like most matches we've talked about tonight, honestly, most of the standout matches of Rey's career, I don't even think this cracks 20 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Like, this isn't a particularly, this is like a pretty, this is as middle of the show gets, and they knock it out of the park. I honestly don't remember a single thing else on this fucking show at all. So this match is fucking unbelievable. And honestly, probably, I mean, obviously there's Shawn and Taker at 25 and there's some other stuff, but I mean, this has to comfortably be the best 2009 WWE match that I can remember anyway, of any that I would point out. So yeah, this match is awesome.
It is indeed, Bobby. You said you saw it recently, right?
I did. I had it number 2. Little feud, yeah, like you guys said, it's incredible. I also think it's probably Jericho's best singles match. It's probably Rey's best singles match in the WWF as well. And I guess if I rank that high, I mean, yeah, just based on how that goes, yeah. Yeah, Dave liked it quite a bit as well. Did the whole review, called it one of the best matches of the year. Contender for match of the year as well when the year ends, and it got 4.5.
This is, and I'm not saying unfairly, to be clear, because he was doing a lot of good stuff, but this is like the height of Jericho PR, and this is like fucking. This is when he starts ducking and diving and getting the goat talk going. You know, like this is proper. This is the peak of Jericho stature in wrestling. I feel like Oracle. How do you feel about this at number 2, mate? What were you thinking?
Yeah, I had this somewhere in my top 5. I don't remember exactly where I placed it, but love this match, love this feud. I remember watching this show at a bar in Charleston, South Carolina with my brother and popping huge for it. It's the only memorable thing on the show that's, really worthwhile. Great match. Another match where we'll mention it once again, where Rey attempts the moonsault DDT. It doesn't go terribly cleanly here. But still a tremendous match. Great feud. This was during a period where, and I honestly believe this, and people might get heated for it, I think this period of SmackDown's better than SmackDown 6. Yeah. Because I think
Ziggler.
Yeah, there you go, Dolph. It doesn't have for example, Troy Wilson and Don Marie. And like it has like, I don't know, it's just, it reminds me, it's a funny comparison, and I say this because Rey's such a big part of it, but like
Ray, Jeff Hardy, Punk, Jericho,
Morrison's
Edge, Morrison, all these guys kind of felt like WWE sort of like the way they were booking it, not the overall quality, right?
Right.
Don't want to piss off John Burr, but it was very much like a '97 WWF, where the main event stuff was so good that anything else was like. Whereas like SmackDown 6 is just in ring, the booking and stuff of it was just terrible during the SmackDown 6.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much between those 6 guys, but just overall on the show. There were some bad episodes.
Yeah.
But the booking was really good during this period, and this match was kind of this feud and the Punk Hardy feud are like two of the really great feuds in WWE, and since 2000, I would say for sure.
Yeah. Well, you said this with the height of your Jericho fan, DeMarco?
Yeah, I was a huge Jericho fan always when I was a kid, and then super into him from late 07 to mid 2010 in that second run.
Jerichoholic, if you will.
Oh yeah, hey, I had the Raw is Jericho shirt from like 2000 when I was a little kid, man.
Outstanding.
I was a huge Jerichoholic. Was the operative word, but
yeah. Eventually we'll be able to circle back.
Yeah, hopefully.
We need some distance, Yep. All right, folks. No treats. No medals. No rewards for guessing number one. And this honestly will be a pretty brief segment because I think Donny's the only person on the show that hasn't been on a list show where this won. I'm pretty sure because Oracle did the WCW show. Bob and I have done both the WCW show and the Eddie show. I don't know if it actually won the WCW one or it was close, right, Bob? Do you remember? It was like
I think
War Games and then it was this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think War Games won, but I think this was second.
It was inevitable number one. We talked about it before. Donny, you have not been on a list show where this came up, so I will pitch to you. October 26th, 1997, Halloween Havoc, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, title versus mask. It looms over my shoulder when we can see it occasionally. We can't see it right now, but pretty good, isn't it?
I mean, it's all right. I had it number one. It's fine. No, in all seriousness, I mean, to be honest, like, I don't really know what I can say about this match that hasn't been said literally since 1997. I mean, this is like, it's a tremendous match. It's one of the most important matches in the history of wrestling, not just for the guys in it, but for where the sport was going to eventually end up going, and obviously for what it meant stateside. There's things in this match that still have not been done to this day. I mean, we've mentioned a lot tonight. Rey has never been able to pull off that moonsault DDT ever again with the elegance and the poise in which him and Eddie Guerrero did on this night. And this match has everything you want from this pairing. Eddie being a rude, mean, smug heel. Rey being a fiery, plucky underdog. Insane dives, crazy bumps. Revolutionary stuff that, again, just hasn't even been done to this day. I mean, this match is what? I think it'll be 30 years old next year, which is fucking ridiculous, dude. 29 years later, and this match is still hard to top.
This is pretty wild. I was wrong. So JBL beat. So this is actually his first win on one of these list shows. It was a 2 seed previously. JBL beat and War Games beat it. So
I mean, it's just it's cliche, but it's proper. This is the best Rey and Eddie match. It's the best match of Rey's career. I didn't even have it as the best match of Eddie's career. I remember on the list show I had the JBL match number one, but for Rey specifically, I think everything that makes Rey Mysterio a fantastic wrestler and one of my 10 favorites of all time is in this match. All the stuff he does in between to get the crowd on his side, all of the high spots that look somehow that shouldn't look as good as they do, but he makes them look good. His selling, his bumping, everything that if you were to ever show somebody why Rey Mysterio is as praised and as celebrated as he is, you show them this match. If you want somebody to get into wrestling, you probably can show them this match and they'll be like, oh, that was at least really cool. This match is perfect. It's perfect. It's one of the best matches in the history of the sport. It's great.
100 points more than the 3 seed.
I mean,
it doubled the 2 seed. It had won after about 10 ballots, to be honest. It was never ever going to get called, and it just kept getting wider and wider. Oracle, we've talked about it a million times. Good match, right? Which we can give grief on that, but we like it.
I think this was my number one. Influence, history.
what they did in the match. And just in terms of, I think historically and influentially, I think more than anything is what makes this match stand out. Even things like the visual, like Rey's outfit, the sort of vibe at WCW at the time. The match itself is, I think it's the best representation of both guys in terms of who they were, what they were to wrestling. I've seen both guys in better matches, actually. But in terms of what this match represents in the history of wrestling, it felt weird not putting it at number one.
Yeah.
Absolutely tremendous match. It defined the cruiserweight era of WCW. It defined cruiserweight wrestling in the United States. Still does to this day, 30 years later. 29, I guess, technically. But yeah, I mean, and hey, more importantly, they pulled off that DDT, brother.
They did. Yeah. Finish the story. When we do the inevitable Halloween Havoc list show,
We're gonna have to
yes,
ban
this will
man.
win. I do want to see like what NXT match makes the top 10.
I feel like I know what it would be.
Because listen, I'm gonna be real. Like, people may scoff at that, bro. There are not that many great Halloween Havoc matches. Like in the original run of Halloween, like you got Steiner's Nasties, like
Io versus Candice, tables, ladders, chairs, and scares, or whatever.
You know what? It's gonna be the Braun Breaker, JD McDonough, Elliot Dragunov three-way. It's gonna make the top.
My only gripe with that one, dude, Tatum and JC was actually very good. Yeah, the one
That's just great. Yeah.
My only gripe with Halloween Havoc being back is like I wish it was main roster because I think we could have so much fun with that. It feels bigger.
You imagine Sol Sikoa.
I do remember one year there was a bad NXT Halloween Havoc and someone was like, it's just not right to do this WCW. It's like, bro, there's no better WCW troop than a shitty Halloween Havoc. And they did that every year. Every single year almost. All right, nonetheless, Bobby, I know you've read it a million times. You know, anything you want to add when it comes to Eddie and Ray, mate?
No, pretty good.
Yep, I like it. Yep. If you want more Eddie Guerrero talk in particular, check out a conversation with Cash Wheeler. We did 10 minutes on Eddie Guerrero. Just talking about
Not
an
only
Eddie
that,
shirt on.
Yeah, I was going to say that the shirt was awesome, dude, that he had on.
I think that's Suplex, I think that is. Shirt.
Is it really?
I think it's Suplex, yeah. I think so. I could be wrong. Cool shirt, but yeah, check that out. And this was a hell of a time, folks. We're doing another list show next week because next week we're getting in the mood for the Owen.
Yes.
And on that note, if you're on the Discord, put your ballot there. If you want to leave a comment on this stream with your top 5 Owen matches in order, you can do that too, because Twitter can be kind of unbearable, to be honest with you. So if you want to do that, you can do that, and we'll just see how many we see how we get. We'll see how we look by Monday. We'll see. But this was a blast. Wonderful time. Much coming up. I'm going to let the lads do some closing. Before they do, Collision is back tomorrow. I'm told that Novi's put a line up together that I will be there, but Novi's in charge of that affair. Next week, okay, I want to stress this now before I throw it to the lads. I have no idea what we're doing next weekend yet. Night of Champions looks
really bad.
Very spooky.
Very scary.
Very scary, yes. Very, very scary. Honorable mentions. BLE reminded me. Okay, let me do that quickly. Let me do honorable mentions. But yeah, okay, so I don't know what we're doing next week. I'm not sure. Honorable mentions. Okay, missed out. 20th was the WrestleMania 22 triple threat where he wins the strap.
Good match.
Yeah. 19th is the Prince Puma match, which I think is fucking awesome. Hoovy, June 16th, 95 was 18th. 17th was the Andrade 2 out of 3 Falls match. And this was on Donny Nauta's ballot, but missed out. Low key was 16th.
Oh, bro, I was so hoping that'd get in there. That match is unbelievable.
How money is it that Key was 101 on GWE and 16th on just doing his thing. But yeah, that was the honorable mentions, folks. And I'll do a cut actually. While the lads do our plugs, I'll prepare some other notes. But in the meantime, Donny, anything you want to promote, mate?
Yeah, Donnie's on main again next week. It's back on Thursday. I did it on Wednesday. The Knicks celebrations will probably be over by then because I will probably have reserved that for the real life folks of mine who I have to bother that for the rest of my life. I don't know if I think you've talked about this show, but next month we're doing 15 years of Money in the Bank 2011, one of my favorite shows ever. I'm on that show, which means I get to talk about my favorite match of all time, John Cena and CM Punk in Chicago. But that show itself in general is fucking awesome. So I think that's all I got, actually. That's it.
I just realized I never did a ballot, actually. So maybe I cost low-key a spot. That's hilarious.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, I was so busy fucking doing the calculations, I just didn't do one. That's
baby,
awesome.
that
The Joe column is just empty. That's godly. Keith absolutely would have made it. He was like 2 points off. He would have just been there. All right, nonetheless, saying that, I don't know if it would have been higher than... Maybe not. Okay. Nonetheless, Bobby, any plugs, mate?
Monday, we are watching TNA Slammiversary 2007.
Yeah.
And then next Friday, I will probably be here for the list show. I don't know. It depends on how much stuff I've left to pack and such since I'm moving. But yeah.
If not, I'm gonna like draft like someone to do the Observer gimmick. I think my plan. We're also gonna watch Takeover. This will be a free show. There'll be a Takeover the end grin along at some point because that's how we always do the grin alongs to match full sub behind. So stay tuned for that. We get to watch that Alpha Revival match. And
I just rewatched that.
that match is fucking amazing. Raw is in London next week. Okay, yeah, so we're doing the Manny shows in the evening. If Raw has something good on it, I may do an afternoon stream because afternoon is fun. I can actually like just watch something at 7 p.m., you know? So, all right, we'll figure that out. The Oracle of Wrestling, you'll be there next week, right, brother?
I will be there for the Owen Top 15 countdown. I will also be there for June 30th.
Yeah.
Green Grappler.
I think so, yeah.
Mark Henry, June 30th.
so.
Perhaps, people. Perhaps.
I think that's the plan, yeah.
We think so. Stay tuned for that. Yes, I'll be there for that. I will also be there for potentially we do something next weekend. Unlikely to be Night of Champions. More likely to do Forbidden Door. I will possibly be there for Forbidden Door.
Yeah. I'm not super, I'll be honest with you. I'm not super...
Possibly.
I'm not rushing to see any of these shows right now, I'll be honest with you. I'm
not either.
That Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
I mean, Forbidden Door definitely looks better than the other show. But
No, of course. Yeah.
It don't look great.
Night of Champions at least looks funny.
I guess say that. Forbidden Door looks like it'll be a good show, but it doesn't look very appealing to my particular palate, I would say. Like,
right.
It's lacking a couple key... I gotta tell you, dude, no Joe or FTR on the telly is fucking rough for me, I gotta tell you. It's a big blow. But nonetheless, yeah. A couple notes before I go to John's super chat to take us home. There were 58 matches that got a vote. Now, you have to remember that people get 5 slots. That is a lot of matches when you have... You know, I'm thinking how much overlap there is. Like, I want to see what was... what got the least but got a nod. There was a Nitro tag from December 97 with La Parka that got a single ballot, which I want to shout out because that's godly.
That match is amazing. Watch it.
There you go. The Gunther match has 1 vote.
Hell yeah.
Finley from SmackDown, 1 vote.
The Kevin Owens match have a vote? I think that's a cool piece of history, though.
I was surprised the Kidman TV stuff didn't do bad, but yeah. There's just so much. Malenko had a few, like... He has Great American Bash, Halloween Havoc, yeah. No Tajiri. No.
Wow.
Dude, Ray's... The thing with Ray's catalog is, in terms of top tier, there are guys that probably... there are guys that beat him out. But, like...
Consistency.
In terms of depth of match catalog, Ray is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
None of the Punk stuff got mentioned either.
Punk did get a vote. The Mania match did. Well,
that match is awesome.
Oracle voted for the other match.
I voted for the Over the Limit match.
That's right.
That match is... Oh, yeah, their matches are great.
John Burr, Super Chat. Great show. Thank you, John. We appreciate it. If anyone ever wants to see my top 50 and have their hair turn white, just give me a booyaka on Discord. Feel free to go and do that. And also on Sunday, if I have a chance, I'm going to do like a hangout on Discord and just throw some stuff on while I'm hanging up. So, at John... Harass John, and have a wonderful Friday night, wonderful weekend. Whoever's left of you Friday night at this point, right? Jesus Christ. It's 6 a.m. here. The sun is shining. All right. Have a good one, folks. We love you. We appreciate you. If you want to get your own ballots in and you're not in the Discord, you can leave a comment. Keep grinning. Or how. Enjoy this outro. Goodbye.